Easy there. Thank you so much for the follow. We're waiting for 7 p.m. for before we get started here. But I really appreciate that support. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's going to be a good night. It should be really informative. And a lot of it will be me working through some stuff too. I used to be a Garmin guy, but I have seen the errors of my ways. So working through foref tonight um, will be a lot of fun. Got another 5 minutes or so. We're gonna wait for 7. All right. Just about ready here. All right. It's just about at the top of the hour. 7. God, that light is still pretty bright. It's definitely better. All right. So it is 7 o'clock. It's the top of the hour. At least it's 7 o'clock Pacific. Top of the hour, and good evening on this beautiful Wednesday evening. It is Private Pilot Ground School Wednesday, and my name is Philip. I'm a certified flight instructor down here in LA, and I am wearing a Legend of Zelda t-shirt. Special Legend of Zelda t-shirt, though. This is a Legend of Zelda periodic table of Legend of Zelda characters t-shirt. And that makes it double nerd. It actually doesn't make it double nerd. It makes it nerd squared, I would say. So, yeah, very cool, silly t-shirt of the evening. And I wanted to say thank you so much for joining this Twitch stream session. And the goal here is to provide some unique ground school type educational content, as well as like flight simulation content to the Twitch streaming space. And let's see here. I just wanted to I need to cancel this. Hold on. I had something on my tablet that I wanted to get rid of. Yeah, so I'm really excited to bring some uniqueness. I think we all are bringing uniqueness to Twitch. I've seen so many beautiful things and so many unique types of things that people are doing on Twitch, even if it's streaming the same video games or or something like that. They kind of bring their own personalities to it, and I really enjoy that about Twitch. I enjoy how everybody supports each other from the most part that I've seen. So yeah, in a way there's uniqueness all over the place. But in terms of the flight sim space, I am really looking forward to continuing this stream and bringing ground school from an FAA certificated flight instructor that can help maybe whether you're a flight training student, whether you're a student pilot, or you're a certificated pilot looking for recurrent training, or if you're neither of those things, if you're just living your life and not really flying in real life, but you really enjoy flight simulation, this channel really is for you, because the material that I am bringing to you, that I've accumulated over a long period of time, and that I've spent a great deal of time and money to develop for myself and in order to share with you, no matter what your background is, this information can help you. It can help you if you're a student pilot to learn more about what you're doing and what is to come outside of the cockpit and outside of the expensive lessons, like with your instructor. If you're a certificated pilot, it's a nice refresher to go back to things. It's very useful to go back to things that we've learned before and maybe being taught to us in a different way, maybe in a different voice or with different concepts, different emphases that we weren't used to. Or if you're an avid flight simmer, worst case scenario, this channel and legitimate flight training ground school can help you do what you do better and get more enjoyment out of the sim and connect more with the process, connect more with the airplane, maybe develop a new appreciation for flying in the sim, and some of the techniques that we're going to cover will help you maybe do what you've been doing, but maybe do it better. and you can't really beat that. A lot of flight sim that I've seen on Twitch is airline flying, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'd really like to put the aviation education out there that would inspire people to pick up GA and do GA, the right way, and who knows, maybe by taking a step back, following this channel and taking a step back from flying airliners or whatever type of flying that you're doing, and by you really like taking another stab at GA, maybe one day, you'll see yourself doing exceptionally well, and maybe that'll spark your interest to actually get some flight training going, and so I just hope to bring that education out there and inspire that for the Twitch streaming space. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to do that. And if that sounds great to you, give this channel a follow. I would greatly appreciate subscribing, because as I've said, this support really goes toward keeping the channel alive and my ability to like create content, create teaching materials. This is all teaching materials that I've created myself from by amassing information from tons of different sources, as well as from my own personal experience. 900 hours total time, of over 500 hours dual given in airplanes of flight instruction given. I've been teaching ground instruction for the past maybe 7 years or 6 years. I'm going on my second year now of flight instruction. I've taught everything from high performance, complex. I've taught glass and panels and avionics and advanced avionics suites. I've transitioned students from analog to GPS, and one of my favorite things to teach it is the instrument rating, which is the add-on to the private pilot or the commercial pilot certificate that allows students to fly when you can't see anything outside. Particularly challenging and strengthening in terms of your mentality, your situational awareness, positional awareness, use of navigational tools, and staying ahead of the process. There's just nothing like it. So I'm really loving that. So anyway, I am qualified and more than stoked to for the privilege to bring this education to you. So the subscribe button is super helpful in keeping the channel going. Now, what is the plan for tonight? So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I am streaming this ground school. We've got IFR Tuesdays. That was last night. We focused on automation management. What is autopilot? How do you use it? And how do you not use it? And then we hopped in the plane in the Cessna, in the X-plane, Cessna 172 G1000, and utilize the autopilot, not only all the functions that we discussed in the ground school, but we integrated that into an IFR flight that we looked up, that we programmed in the G1000, and integrated certain call-outs into our vocalizations and our procedures, and included some automation-specific things into our pre-takeoff, climb, cruise, and descent checklists as we flew the obstacle departure procedure and got en route onto an airway and got set up for a VOR DME approach. That was a DME arc, and we flew that DME arc using the autopilot in some creative ways. Tonight is a foref orientation, as well as a Garmin GTN 750 workshop. I just a disclaimer about that. I am not an expert in foref. In fact, I used to be a Garmin pilot guy for several years, and I switched over to foref. I do believe in foref more. I believe it's more capable, and I've been using it in real life, in my real life flying, in my real life flight instruction, as well as in my streaming and my flight sim stuff. And it's just been really epic. So there are a good amount of capabilities for foref that I'm actually not familiar with. I want to kind of experiment with some tonight, but I figure I'd run through some of the core functions of foref. It's Tuesdays are for IFR, but Wednesdays and Thursdays are for private pilot, and so we're not going to go super crazy into ForeFlight. Just really what you'd need to know, maybe some scenarios, maybe some like diversion scenarios, some lost procedure scenarios, and really just like what's what. The other disclaimer is I have the top tier subscription to ForeFlight, so not all of not all the capabilities that you'll see tonight will be in the base, model or the base tier, and I believe there's a secondary tier as well that will be a little more limited, but I think that's even better for you to see all the things that are possible, and then you can see for yourself based on what's available, if you decide to pick up ForeFlight, what plan is right for you. And I'm an avid instrument pilot. I fly on instruments in the sim. I teach private pilot, instrument, commercial, CFI. I'm very much in the in the air and on the ground, like with the knowledge. And so for me, it's a good investment to actually get that top tier, so I have all the tools available. But as a brand new pilot, as somebody maybe that's just in the stream space, or somebody who's a student pilot, like you don't need to go all out. The other thing I'll say with ForeFlight is I definitely recommend getting an iPad mini, not a big iPad. The ForeFlight will be an app on a tablet or a phone, or some sort of mobile device that you could put on anything, I want to say it's for iPad only. I want to say that ForeFlight is an Apple product, like, only. I don't think on a Samsung tablet, I don't know if you could put ForeFlight on there. So that's the first thing, in which case you'd want to use Garmin Pilot maybe, or some other, Avair, or one of these other, there are tons of other nav apps, aviation navigation apps out there. This is not, I think ForeFlight is a one-stop shop, but the cool thing is, let's see here. The cool thing is, if you're not able to use ForeFlight, this channel, this stream is still going to be for you, because a lot of, especially Garmin Pilot, since I have a lot of experience with that, a lot of the functionalities are the same, and it's just the layout that's different. And so, the concepts are there, and it's still going to be really useful to you, and who knows, maybe this will inspire you to save up for an iPad and get one if you don't already have one. I do recommend the iPad mini for this, and not the big iPad. You may be thinking oh, well, the bigger space, I'll be able to see better. My charts will be bigger, and that will help me navigate better. No, the bigger the iPad, the more in the way it is. And the trick to the iPad and using what's called an electronic flight bag, an EFB, is that you want to be able to actually put it away. The problem is if it's so big that you have to use it, you sort of can't put it away, and you have to keep looking at it, and so you actually become over reliant on it. I also noticed that the big ones, they tend to overheat kind of easily too, but that's another thing. So I do recommend the mini. The bigger the iPad, not the better. You do get diminishing returns. And in terms of accuracy or whatever, you could zoom in and out no problem. And by the way, the mini isn't all that small. I mean, it's the perfect size in my opinion, but it's not like the mini is the iPod mini, which is crazy small. Remember iPods? How about that, dude? But I do recommend the iPad mini for sure, for this type of use. What else? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, if you are an avid simmer, like a flight sim junkie, and you don't even really fly in real life, it's totally cool, man. I would still recommend getting a tablet and and ForeFlight, because in X-Plane and Microsoft Flight Sim, you can configure those simulators so that they communicate with your tablet whether it's a Samsung, whether it's a Galaxy or whatever, or an iPad. I've done it with both. And you can actually enhance your situational awareness in the sim utilizing your tablet, having the computer, having your desktop computer communicate with your tablet and your ForeFlight as you fly in your sim. Your geolocated position will be shown on ForeFlight as if you were actually flying in real life. And then depending on your type of plan, or tier that you have of ForeFlight, the type of subscription you have in ForeFlight, that geolocated position will be also present on things like instrument approach procedures or departure procedures, airport diagrams, and stuff like that. So I really, really recommend this resource, even if you are just flight simming and you're actually not a flight student, or a student pilot. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. That's a lot about ForeFlight, and the GTN 750 will be actually a workshop that I'm going to open up a trainer on my computer and work through some of the core functionalities of it. Again, ForeFlight orientation and the 750 will be more geared toward the private pilot, not the instrument pilot. Although I will touch on some instrument things, especially since I have a Jeppesen subscription coupled with my ForeFlight. So that's tonight, and then tomorrow at 9 p.m. G1000 cross country utilizing automation. It's a private pilot day. We're going to be cross countrying probably to Palm Springs or something like that. G1000 and cross country flight planning. Not really detailed, not like the Navlog or anything like that, but I do want to start putting together the automation that we covered last night, and then some of the GPS functions that we'll see tonight. We'll be able to actually put to work tomorrow. Next week we've got instrument approaches on Tuesday, a VOR PowerPoint and workshop, like what's what with using the VORs, and a little bit of VOR orientation and just kind of how to actually use it. That seems to be a point of contention and a point where an actual topic that a lot of people can use some help on always. I know I appreciate a good VOR navigation refresher myself. And then we've got Thursdays, we've got flying skills Thursdays, putting all the pieces together, looking at loss procedures, diversion procedures, and doing those things utilizing VORs. So we'll continue, and we got some really great stuff coming up this month. We've got a special ground school on the 13th that is themed around Star Wars and the aerodynamics and wing design, aerodynamic design aspects of certain Star Wars ships that we see in the franchise, like flying through planets with atmospheres. Obviously not the way that the ships behave in space, but when they're actually close to the ground and on planets. So yeah, Revenge of the Lift will be Wednesday the 13th, and then there's a lot of good stuff coming up. So with that, without further ado, let's go into ForeFlight. And I will preface this by saying that... Oh, you know what? I need I will preface this by saying that whether you're a private pilot or an instrument pilot, what you want to do is really use a tool like ForeFlight responsibly. As I have said before, you definitely don't want to be over-reliant on a tool like this where the tool becomes a crutch. But the reality is, in our modern day, GPS and electronic flight bags, they're a real awesome tool to have in the cockpit. When we're talking about what are we all about when we are a pilot, right? What we are all about is workload management, single pilot resource management, and the managing and the prioritization of the use of our resources, of all available resources. We're trying to manage stress. We're trying to adapt. We're trying to stay ahead of the airplane and stay ahead of the process. And there's I can't think of a better way than with ForeFlight. Let's see here. Why is this thing being like weird? They got this green mark on here that I'm really trying to get rid of. Maybe edit and then boom, delete. That it looks really annoying, so it's awesome that I can. Oh, can I not delete that? There we go. All right, sweet. Yeah, so you just want to be you don't want to be reliant on this. You want to carry paper charts for sure. You want to carry a paper tack chart or carry a sectional chart depending on where you're at. You want to go over the 3 methods of navigation with your flight instructor, and they are the 3 methods of navigation in order of priority that you want to be exercising them, developing them, and those 3 methods of navigation are: number 1, pilotage. Pilotage is the method of navigation where we are looking outside, looking at ground references, prominent terrain features, airports, freeway intersections, VFR checkpoints that are charted, and weird bends like in the freeway, things that are very characteristic and indicative of other surroundings and other things. We want to look outside and notice these things so that and then look outside, notice them, and then look inside at our chart and put the pieces together that based on what we see outside, we must be here on the chart. And if we must be around this area on the chart, then we are around this type of airspace or that type of airspace, so that we can remain situationally aware of the rules. What type of rules do we need to be abiding by, right? Are we clear of airspace where we need a clearance first? Are we in or above airspace that requires a transponder with mode C to be working? We need to know like where these airspaces are, and they are very often marked by prominent features on the ground actually that we can, if we have a trained eye and if we are creative, we can utilize that pilotage to understand where we are and then put it together where we are with respect to certain types of airspace. That is the that is the first method of navigation. For example, here's a chart, and this is in ForeFlight. I'm going to show you how to get to this chart, but imagine a paper chart with this on here. Method of navigation of pilotage would be looking at, here's Long Beach up in the top right here. There's Long Beach. You'll notice that this part of the delta right here is marked by the Queen Mary. That magenta flag right there is the Queen Mary. And the Queen Mary is very easily visible from the air. I mean, it's very easily visible from pretty much anywhere in that area. So it's a huge ship. And so you would see the Queen Mary outside, and you would say, if the Queen Mary is just inside of Long Beach's Class Delta airspace, then I know something very important that I need to have established two-way radio communication, gotten my weather, and briefed my plan of what I'm going to ask for, what type of approach to ask for. I need to have that done by the Queen Mary, or else, I'm in trouble, assuming that you're at or below 2,600 feet. Same thing with Torrance and the Vincent Thomas Bridge. If you look at this edge right there, that edge is marked by the Vincent Thomas Bridge. The Vincent Thomas Bridge is that magenta flag right there. And so it's a humongous bridge that is like a green in color, and absolutely visible. So it's interesting, you know, when you think about it, that bridge marking that edge of the airspace, if you're east of the bridge, then you are for sure out of their airspace. And if you're west of the bridge, then you're in their airspace. So utilizing this chart, looking outside and noticing these are two examples of a prominent landmark, you know, we would know where this airspace is. Third and final example would be like Garvey. Right here we have El Monte, this class Delta airspace. El Monte, let me actually see if I can make this a little bit bigger. El Monte is this class Delta airspace with Garvey Reservoir being on the outer limit of the Delta. Right? So as you come, as you make your way up from Long Beach or wherever you're coming from, and you're following maybe this 710 freeway up to, up this way, you'll notice, for example, this weird bend right here, and you're like, oh, okay, I know that until that bend, I'm underneath 2,000 foot Bravo. You get out of that 2,000 from underneath that 2,000 foot Bravo, continue up to 710. You know that to your 2 o'clock you should see Garvey Reservoir, and that Garvey Reservoir is a point. It's a pilotage. It's a very strong, very intelligent pilotage point that you would need to have done these things. Got in the weather, got established to a radio communication before Garvey for El Monte in order to be okay. So it's very important that we do this by paper, that we do this even if we're using a tablet. You know, if you're using a tablet, turn your GPS function off, your location off, and really do honest pilotage navigation, determining where you are based on the things that you see outside. Because what you don't want to do is utilize ForeFlight and the GPS functionality of ForeFlight too early on in the training, where you get used to the comfort, the security, the false security, the comfort blanket. What is it? Safety blanket? Yeah, I think that's the word. Because of seeing a blue, airplane moving on a map that tells you where you are at any given time. You don't need to develop that mental picture. You don't need to, think critically. You don't need to look outside as much and really evaluate where you are. And you might, need to put multiple pieces together so you don't get lost. You're not going to need to do that because you see a blue dot right there showing you exactly where you are. That's a good thing if you're already skilled at pilotage and you're IFR and you do need to actually know where you are, and it is an aid to navigation. But when you're just starting off and you don't have that skill yet, to default back to forego pilotage skills and because it's too hard, and so you utilize the chart like this, it's just you're at a huge disadvantage when it comes to any situation where this tablet is going to peter out on you, and have a dead battery, So that's the first method of navigation, is pilotage. Second method of navigation is dead reckoning, and that is where we're going to put together a VFR nav log later on in the month. Put together a VFR nav log, and from point to point, we're going to measure things like the distance between points. We're going to have a known speed that we're going to be traversing that distance, and so it's going to take us a certain amount of time to do that, and we're going to do that for all the different legs, like from our departure airport to our destination airport. And the thing is each of those legs takes a certain amount of time that we're going to be burning fuel. So we would do time, distance, and fuel calculations and other performance calculations instead of pilotage and looking outside. These are calculation-based. This is calculation-based navigation. And then finally, electronic navigation, which is using VORs and GPS. So we really have a bit of all three when we're utilizing the EFB. You know, when we're using something like ForeFlight, when we're using that, it's kind of like all three. So, excuse me. Didn't get much sleep last night. I was up insanely early, so. So yeah, just those things need to be said about ForeFlight, about, you know, the electronic flight bag as a resource, and some of the do's and don'ts, especially if you're new to training or if you are, you know, in flight sim and, like, you know, you need to work on your methods of navigation. Don't just default to using the GPS and, like, you know, taking the cheap way out. Okay, enough's enough. Let's dive in and see what we're working with here in ForeFlight. So when you open up the app, you see this opening page right here, and it takes you to the first page is actually airports. Okay, and this is my home airport right now. I've got Fullerton right there, and you're able to do a search for your airport right here. So, you know, KTOA, and there's Torrance Airport right there, and you have all this, you know, pertinent information. We're going to come back to this sheet, this page, in a second, but the very first page I wanted to turn you on to is this More page. On the More page, you're able to do things like actually download the materials. So you're able to go to the United States and download things like taxi diagrams, the terminal procedures, VFR charts, and stuff, state-specific things, you know, for your home state. Maybe you're going on a trip across country and you're going to be, you know, going through some states. You can do that. Very important that you do that. Oh. So those are the downloads page, or those are the downloads. Settings are going to be here in the about, you know, in the More page. Go to settings, and things like, you know, setting your units, setting your whether you're north up or track up. You know, I prefer the north up since a lot of the you know, the aviation, the navigation charts are for, you know, north up. Let's see here. Let's see. Breadcrumbs clear after 15 minutes. Yeah, like English and stuff. Beardsley, north up. Yes, Beardsley with a party of 3. What's going on? Thank you so much for the raid. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. North up. What's up, dude? Dudes. And by dudes, I mean friends. All right, so yeah, we just started getting into it. I would definitely recommend going back after this video and just kind of some of the philosophy about utilizing electronic flight bags and tools like ForeFlight is just what I've been talking about, you know, for past little bit. So yeah, we're actually just now getting into it. So the first page here is the airports page. And yeah, you can do your search in that way. So here we have Torrance, KTOA. You got the Latin Long right there. You got things like the latest weather, the field elevation. But you got these tabs here that you can kind of cycle through things. And that's pretty cool. You can also like favorite this airport. And, you know, and by favoriting it, you know, you can access it there. You can, like, let's do another one where it's like KCMA Camarillo, and there you go right there. You could favorite that, boom, and then you just drop that favorite right in there. That's kind of nice. If you have favorite airports, maybe you have airports that are at really good runways, or, you know, you go there for lunch, or you know, that's pretty nice little feature there. You got your recents and browse by state, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, runway information is very, very useful. Anyway, there's all this information that you can kind of just work your way through. It's very, very user friendly, very intuitive for a particular airport. So info, yeah, these are going to be frequencies, as you can see here, frequencies for clearance and ground if there are multiple tower frequencies, common traffic advisory frequencies. There's your departure control and your center, LA center and Point Magoo departure. Really cool aspect. This is actually, I've had some people ask me where the chart supplement for an airport entry can be found. It can be found in several different places, but this is one of them. So again, down at the bottom, we got these different tabs, maps, plates, and all these things. So we're in the airport tab. Clicking on AFD for a certain airport will bring you to the entry, and you can read all about it right there. Camarillo, the name of the airport, the local correction to go to local time from UTC. We've got the different charts that you can find Camarillo Airport in. The LA sectional and the TAC charts, the helicopter charts, the high altitude and low altitude IFR charts. There are instrument approach procedures in there, so it's very nice, very, very nice. And you can read all about that here. Things like TPA. So where's TPA in here? Yeah. TPA 877, that's an 800-foot TPA. 1,000 feet for multi-engines. So that's pretty cool that you can really just have really easy access to the airport diagram, or the AFD page. Contacts. That's pretty cool. Look at the airport manager. Like maybe you landed and you didn't check the times that the airport's closed and you can't get out, or something, or you can't get in, or I don't know, maybe there's like a problem then and you're like stranded, so that's pretty cool. All right. Oh, check this out. I didn't know this. Different car rentals. That's pretty sweet, dude. Let's say you're gonna go to Camarillo for like a quick, afternoon getaway or something like that, like or you're going to Santa Barbara for like a like a afternoon beach trip or something like that. That's nice that you can like rent cars and what kind of lodging is around and stuff. Like, that's pretty sweet, dude. I didn't know that. Yeah, there's going to be a good amount of things that I work through actually with you tonight, like in ForeFlight. I'm still kind of like, there's so many capabilities. All right. The weather, really, really good to have this weather section. And again, like the AFD, like the runway information, you can get this information in a lot of different places, but this is definitely one of them. What is the local METAR? There's your... The green is raw, is in its raw form right there, and you can see all the decoded information right there. Density altitude right there, that's super useful. Very, very useful. Nearby weather of these other places. What's that TAF say? What's up with that discussion, dude? Remember we were talking about the discussion, I want to say last week, or a couple weeks ago, where... what type of confidence do they have in the forecast in the local TAF? Are they confident? Are they moderately confident? Are they high confidence? KLAX, high confidence in the 00 Zulu TAF. 20% chance of marginal VFR ceilings through 19 Zulu this morning, and again 10 Zulu to 16 Zulu. So that's really nice that we can actually have the forecast discussion. We talked before about how the forecast discussion could actually be a tiebreaker for information that seems contradictory. What information might be contradictory? I've seen the TAF and the MOS be contradictory before.
where the MOS says the next morning is going to be IFR, and the TAF says that it's going to be VFR. And so you're like, whoa, really? Let me read that forecast discussion. They would say low confidence, right? Low confidence in the TAF, or high confidence in the TAF. Maybe they are confident and the MOS is wrong. You know, that would be a great indication of like what to prioritize. And going into a check ride, you want to have a familiarization of a tool like this. We were going over the forecast discussion as on aviationweather.gov. Same thing, but it's nice that you do have that on here. And again, that was on the TAF, so it makes sense that it's on the TAF button and the forecast discussion right there. All right. What does the MOS say? Very, very smart, especially when the weather has been weird lately, that you compare TAF and the MOS. How is the MOS determined? I actually do not know. I do know that the MOS is a statistical model, whereas the TAF is not, apparently. And so like TAF is made on like predictions like of future conditions, versus the MOS, their predictions are based on statistically like what the likelihood's going to be based on previous trend information versus stuff that they see right now. You know what I mean? So I think there's a difference there. Daily just weather stuff, maybe for the next 7 days, I'm assuming. Winds, pretty nice. Winds aloft, actually, at this airport. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Winds and temperatures aloft. So that's a really great page. That's really, really awesome. And when would you use this? Why not just get a standard briefing where it says it all? Why is this a great thing? Well, because when you're looking at at a cross country and you're looking at a destination, you want to really check out all available weather information at that airport. And so like it's all available information in general. So to be able to really do a deep dive into this destination airport, this hypothetical destination, and have all that information right there, yeah, go get your standard briefing. Go look at winds and temps aloft along your route. But the fact is you have all the information right here. Pretty sweet. Got runway information. Procedures. This is a big page. Now, I'm using Jeppesen. I'm going to do a Jeppesen FAA comparison for IFR Tuesdays on the 19th of October. Doing Jeppesen versus FAA terminal procedures specifically. But, for the private pilot, absolutely, we can look at airport diagrams and look at the difference. There's your Camarillo airport diagram. We're able to rotate it by this button up at the top right there and rotate it just like that. We've got the taxiways and the field length and width. We've got, the taxiways right there. We got NOTAMs right here that we would definitely want to check out. Runway 26 closed Monday, 14:30 to 1500. That's 7:30 a.m. Pacific, and expires November 1st, 8 a.m. Pacific. Interesting. Runway closed. Interesting. Yeah, 14:30. We're 7 hours ahead of Zulu time. So 14:30 Zulu. That's 14:30. That's 2:30 p.m. Zulu. So 14:30 minus 7 is 7:30 a.m. Local where I'm from. And what else? We got some work in progress. There you go. All right, cool. So you got some NOTAMs right there. Something to check out right away. And that's nice. Field elevation. You got your frequencies right there. It's pretty nice. And there you go. Now, how does this compare with Jeppesen? And is Jeppesen worth it for the private pilot is a really regular question. The The DPE I did my private pilot check ride with pointed out that, you mean notices to airmen don't show up in foreflight? Yes, they do. What do you mean? That's what we were just looking at, actually. Letters to airmen. I am actually unfamiliar, so maybe that's something that I need to. There's one for KBDN. Like, I am unfamiliar with letters specifically, so that's something that I need to check out and learn. They go into detail about like IFR routes or issues with rotorcraft. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So that's definitely a shortcoming. Um, and that's probably a really popular thing that people are not familiar with. So there you go. Let's see what else. What do we have up here? We got some stuff we can draw on it with that thing up there, that little pen right there. We can rotate it. Oh yeah, we could toggle the FBO button right there. That's pretty cool. You got the names of the FBOs. It's pretty nice. Yeah, there you go. Ooh. Now, how does this compare with Jeppesen? I do think if you're a student pilot and you're thinking about doing your instrument rating after your private, absolutely go Jeppesen. I think it's really great. I think Jeppesen is better than what the FAA puts out there, but you can absolutely get away with the FAA stuff, no problem. And here is an example of the Jeppesen layout. Same NOTAMs show up. A little bit of a different layout there. You got the frequencies up at the top, and little cautions here. There you go. You got the runway length right there, and the width will be down here. So this box is your there's your runway stuff. You can see here runway 8 and 26. So type of lighting right there. We've got the width right here by 150, so you kind of just put it right there. You can see here that the medium intensity runway lights, runway and identifier lights, and the PAPI is off to the left with a 3-degree glide path. They're all pilot activated, pilot controlled when the tower's in, closed on 128.2. That's really good. And then some other IFR related things. So that's pretty cool. That's the airport page. Again, we're in the procedures tab of the airport's, chapter down here. We got the airport chapter in terms of these chapters down here. We got that, and then we got these pages right here. So we're in the procedures. The airport, the departures, that's an IFR thing. And arrivals and approaches, these are all IFR things. That's really what we mean by procedures. We're talking about terminal procedures. Different NOTAMs, that'll be really cool. That's really good to check out. NOTAMs that are, there's your runway closure and instrument approach procedure. So, yeah, pretty sweet. Now, let's look at these other things here. 3D view of the airport. This, I believe, is a different tier. This has to do with the tier that I'm in right now. Wow, is it really showing traffic out there? For real? I didn't have the, I don't think I didn't. Yeah, Southwest For dude, what is this? I wonder if this is like the sim. So weird. You can toggle traffic. That's crazy. I definitely don't have my ADS-B yet on this, so there's runway. That's like a runway view. That's pretty nice. I'm just pinching and rotating. Runway 8. Pretty nice. Really good to be able to like move this around too, and you can really just kind of like scope out the airport. Look at the taxiways, maybe like nighttime, like what's the lights look like. Kind of nice. There's your oh, that would be trippy if the Pappy actually changed with height. It's pretty wild. There's your threshold right there, runway and identifier lights. So that's pretty nice. What else? FBOs, like we said. Taxiways. Yeah. All right, cool, man. So that's the airports tab right there, and you can search whatever airport you'd like. Going forward to the maps brings us to this page. Now, as I said in the beginning, what you really want to do is start here with the More tab and go to the Downloads and make sure that all your charts are downloaded. That's one of the things that you want to stay on top of in terms of making sure that you're using like current charts and publications, is making sure everything's currently downloaded. What I have here, it may look like a lot to somebody that doesn't live in LA or, you know, in the like busy terminal area. You know, but this is a VFR chart that I'm looking at. It's actually the VFR sectional and TAC chart, depending on how close in you get. This out here is more sectional type stuff, but you can see this border right here. This border. This actually. Yeah, that is the TAC chart. That's the TAC chart. So as you zoom in, it kind of like goes from the sectional right there. Oops. It goes from the sectional. See how it changes right there like that. So there's your TAC chart as you zoom in, and TAC chart's really nice. You kind of got your cities right there. And that's pretty cool. So how did I select this? First of all, I believe the default is this one right here with none. And that's just a map of, you know, that's just like a more like a relief, I guess, map or something. Aeronautical, we can do like, we can over here, like the aeronautical overlay. You'll notice that these icons in the left change. The aeronautical overlay, we can select airports like that. That's pretty cool. We can select different types of airspace. So those together, you know, make a lot of sense. And in particular, it's class Delta, Charlie, and Bravo, and their respective ceilings, you know, based on what area you're in. So, like, you just want to be careful because this, like, let's say this 2,500 foot Bravo right here, 25, it's this right here. Let me try and mark this off. Yeah, there we go. This right here, you'll notice that it's inside of this kind of claw-shaped Bravo section, all in here. That claw is 2,500 foot Bravo. Whereas this is 2,000 foot Bravo. That's where this comes from. So that's how you just want to make sure that you're reading the shelves correctly, and ultimately like referring to an actual chart and the symbology, like to know, this chart tells you all that you need to know about where certain airspace starts and finishes, starts and the tops and where it starts. But just for simplicity, taking the chart off and just something like this, it's really nice that you got airspace. It also looks really cool, like that glow, that pink Charlie right there. That's pretty sweet, man. You got airports and airspace. You've also got airways. That's pretty cool. And of course, this is a private pilot kind of approach, and what we are kind of talking about is not instrument stuff, but this is still really useful to you, like for your VFR navigating and your cross-country flight planning, is like knowing what airways are available to you in this area as you go, let's say, from Seal Beach to Popper to Santa Monica, maybe Santa Monica to Sadie to Ventura, Ventura to Camarillo or something like that. So yes, you can use the VFR chart, and yes, you can use the IFR chart, but right now we're just looking at the aeronautical overlay and looking at the differences so that we can see these toggles right here a little bit more clearly. Because yeah, you start loading it up with the chart right here. Actually, that's not that bad, but I didn't mean to do that one. I meant to do this one. And things start looking pretty like, what? The last thing that you want to do to a chart like the LA sectional or the LA tack chart is add things to the chart. So let me just start off by saying that. But it is pretty cool to have these outlines. Like, look at Camarillo, this like circle right here, and then we're gonna go like, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet, man. Okay. So there's Van Nuys right there and Burbank. Pretty sweet. All right. So yeah, anyways, these airways right here, and navigating in that area, you got all the main, like, major, like, fixes as well, the intersections. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Look at this toggle right here. This toggle, these stamp shapes are not pertaining to the private pilot. These are frequencies for center controllers, actually, air route traffic control centers. And I mean, I guess you may be on with center, actually, if you're over here doing flight following. But yeah, your center controllers are right there. That's pretty cool. You got some terrain that you can put in there. I wonder what that looks like with the sectional. They actually don't overlay that. That's specifically for an aeronautical thing, or maybe the street as well. No, that's specifically for this aeronautical deal. That's pretty cool. We've got some highways. Major highways? No? Huh, okay. So there we go. So why would you ever use this this chart? Well, honestly, I would use it just for like this purpose, like just to really simplify where the airspace is, like what airspace goes where, and really just to simplify. Like, if I was gonna do some flight training about airspace in my area, and I wanted to point out the local class Delta airspaces, I might be hesitant. Normally, what I do is I actually do use this chart, but I don't know. Like if it's a student that is very nervous about it or very like squeamish, of this intimidating chart, I might actually just simplify the whole thing for them and say like, okay, look, these are our airports, and these light blue dotted are the class deltas that we need to be concerned with. Long Beach, Los Alamitos, Torrance, and then say, look, see this circle around Long Beach? Same chart right there. And then you could take that off. And like, see, like, see Torrance right there, that weird shaped airspace off to the left? This is how it's represented. They're just ultimately they're just overlays, so you can use them however you want. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's see. We can draw on it. It's pretty nice. And yeah, we got these different types of some charts here, like the aerial. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is pretty nice. This is actually really, really good. Why would you use an aerial overlay? Well, definitely if you're an instructor, you should be, because when you're in the area, like when you're with a student and you're teaching pilotage, or if you're a new pilot and you are learning pilotage, we talked about pilotage being the method of the primary method of navigation for private pilot, really for pilots in general. You want, unless you're like up flying in class alpha airspace, you can't see really much, but other than like blue sky all around. But your IFR up there anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you're down here, pilotage is really the way to go. Pilotage is like your number one thing. If you get lost, like look outside, like where are you? What do you see? And then yeah, start putting some pieces together. But pilotage and looking outside is recognition skills. And it starts with area familiarization. Like, what are the things? What are the things? So you come to a chart like this, like the sectional, and not all the pieces are there. Some very important ones are there, right? We talked about important pilotage spots like the Vincent Thomas Bridge and the Queen Mary for understanding where the airspace is. But like, let's say that you're looking for, you're teaching pilotage in the practice area, in this Palos Verdes practice area, and all you've got are Point Fermin and Point Vicente, but you have all this room in between where you're going up and down and you're doing maneuvers and stuff, and you're making radio calls. If you're not on with SoCal Approach, actually you should be on with SoCal, but this isn't a good effective way to teach all of the pilotage spots in this area. There's way more than Point Vicente and Point Fermin and Palos Verdes Point. So you come here to the aerial view, and now you can start looking at what really is out there. What's really out there? Yeah, you've got Point Fermin, but as you cruise down the coast or up the coast, you've got the baseball field. You got the baseball diamond right there. That's a call out point. Continue going this way, and you've got Trump National Golf Course right here. Very, very important spot, and you can actually brief your route and what you're going to do. You're going to come out here, simulated engine failure, boom, come out here, spiral down. And you can discuss with a student or with your instructor or your examiner, whatever it is, that you've got some good spots around here. Like, let's say that you're en route somewhere and you want to discuss, like, hey, like, I have a spot. If I need to, I can put it right there on that golf course right there. That's the one right there. Minimal sand traps right above this lake right here. And I can do that safely. This right here is too weird shaped. All these other ones, you have like some sand traps in there. So really, really nice for visualizing what's around you. But again, not on the chart. That's not on the chart. Continue right up here, the horseshoe. The horseshoe in this area is a pilotage call out spot, and you're going to be announcing your position to traffic in the area. If you're not on with SoCal, you're going to be announcing your position near the horseshoe. It's good to know. Here's Terranea golf course. If you say, "Oh, I'm near the golf course," they don't know which one you're near. Like, there are golf courses all over the place over here. You know, are you at Trump National, the big one, or are you talking about Terranea, which is near the Point Vicente, which is actually on the chart? So you can see here, like, this view is very, very good. You got Terranea. I mean, yeah, sure, you've got Point Vicente, and you've got, Point Furman, and you've got Point Vicente, sure, but you've also got Terranea, you got the Horseshoe, you've got Trump National, you've got the Baseball Diamond. All those points right there are available to you to see and plan in the aerial view. And then you got the VFR sectional. You've also got the VFR flyway. That's actually a really underutilized chart. You can see here it's actually overlaid on the TAC charts. It's on the back of a terminal area chart. And what this shows you is if you want to get somewhere, this is really the way that you should go and the altitudes that you should be at. So, like, let's say that you are going out to Palm Springs or something, and you want to be going this way. It's good to know that you want to be below 950. If you're out there on a check ride and they're saying, well, why not 950? You know, or why not 1150? You want to be like, well, you know, I referred to the flyway chart, and it actually did say that you want to be below 950 right here in this area. And for good reason, because you've got aircraft on arrivals into LA and John Wayne and other aircraft, I'm assuming. We've got, if you are going from this area, like Fullerton area, there's Fullerton right there, and you want to go north to the El Monte area, they're saying that they prefer you to be below 3,500 because this right here, 4,000 foot Bravo. So you can adjust your decision making accordingly based on the fly chart as an added resource. It's very, very nice. All right. Aerial map. Let's put a flight plan together and see what kind of other functions we can get out of this map page. Let's go flight plan. And right here, first of all, what you want to do is create an aircraft profile for yourself, where if you're a 152 or a 172, 182, Christine, looking at you, you want to, there's your 182T right there. You want to set that up. And what that's going to do is there are profiles in here that will allow you to get more accurate navigation information out of this program. When you're putting in a flight plan, it's important to know what the performance of the aircraft is, so that way the time, the fuel, and everything is accurate. So, like, the way to add an aircraft is right here. You can go to plus and just put your tail number in there. Oops. Yeah, add your tail number by editing that right there. I'm actually gonna delete this on. I added it on accident. But yeah, you can fill out all this stuff about your aircraft. Let's actually open up the 182 that I have and see what's going on. So there's like the tail number and then the aircraft type you could select right there. In knots and all different types of performance profiles. Best glide. It's pretty nice. You can put your empty weight in there. Like that's obviously an editable number because standard empty weight is not what you'll be using. You'll be using the actual updated new empty weight based on the last inspection. So yeah, that's the first thing. You want to make sure that before you put together a flight plan that your aircraft profile is reflecting the correct performance. Let's go KTOA and K. Let's go Santa Barbara, SBA. Actually, let's do Palm Springs. I like that flight. KPSP. And so you'll notice, KPSP. You'll notice that all I did was select a start and a finish, like a departure airport and a destination airport. And what it did was basically what you do, when you are flight planning for real on paper, is you draw a straight line and you see what the issue is, if there are any issues. And of course there are in this situation. I'm going to click on the flight plan here and look at what these issues are. First of all, a couple of good things. This straight line, it takes us over some airports, but it takes us, depending on our altitude, takes us maybe through or above Class Charlie. You got some mountains right there that it's that we want to be aware of. Continuing here, we got most likely above, it's in or above Class Charlie for March Air Force Base. But then we have like the serious problems right here. It's like right over that almost 11,000 foot peak mountain right here. So it's just not what we do. We see that we've got an issue here, so we're gonna modify this this flight plan to be something more suitable to us. And again, this is private pilot, so you just want to don't over rely on VORs and stuff. So instead of over relying on VORs, I'm gonna go from Torrance. I'm going to go to the Queen Mary. I'm going to go to actually, I'm going to go to Queen's Gate. I'm going to go and climb to 5,005. Let's see, we are eastbound, so that's an odd 1,000 plus 500 foot altitude based on VFR cruise altitude regulation. And I'm going to select, you see here, when the way that I did that was I took a segment of this magenta line, and I'm just holding my stylus down on it, or a finger or whatever, and I'm dragging it over the point where I want to end up. So let's look at that. See that Queen Mary right there? I'm just going to drag this down, Queen Mary, and then I release it. Now, none of these are the Queen Mary. These are all airports. Long Beach, Seal Beach. Where's the Queen Mary, right? Well, the Queen Mary is not an airport, so it's not going to be right there. So what you're going to do is go to the waypoints. VPLQM is the name of that point right there. It says it actually on the chart, VPLQM. And there you have it. All right, sweet. From there, I'm going to go to Seal Beach. I will be tracking Seal Beach VOR. And again, VOR doesn't come up on this spot, but we're going to go to Nav. And there it is. There's Seal Beach VOR. And there you have it. I do want to go on an airway up to, let's say, I think I want to actually edit this because I don't want to risk. Oh, actually, you know what? If we're at 5,500, we will be above Class Charlie, so that's fine. We'll be above Class Charlie, and we will want to remain south southeast of the actual VOR, because this is there's 5,000 foot Bravo like right there, like another just going back to our, there's our route right there. See that? The class Bravo solid blue line with 5,000 feet in there. You can also know that by the sectional chart. You can kind of see this whole area right here. $5,000 foot Bravo, as evidenced by, you know, that right there. So, yeah, you just want to be cognizant of that. And, there's nothing wrong with, getting a Bravo clearance. But the thing is you don't want to assume that, you're going to get it and plan according to that assumption, because sometimes they can't accommodate, actually. I have been in situations where they do not accommodate, and they're like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So you guys normally are so cool. So we will be 5,500. We will be above Class Charlie, and I want to go to Santa Ana Canyon Pass. VPLSA. We go to waypoints. VPLSA. Notice it's like not exactly off of the airway. Or it's not exactly on the airway, I should say. So that's going to be not the 058 radial, but some other, maybe 060 radial. We would do that in our nav log and calculate that. So VPLSA, so the Santa Ana Canyon Pass, it's a really good VFR checkpoint. And it's very obvious, it's a really prominent spot. Why not just go to Prado Dam? You see Prado Dam right there, like right next to it. If we go to Prado Dam, we can stay actually on the airway. So why not just go there? We could. We definitely could. I like the idea of splitting the airspace, like you could like split these two Class Charlies, and even though we're at 5,500, we're above them, so we're not splitting anything. Yeah, I don't know. Like if we need to descend for some reason, it's nice to know that we're in a spot that isn't compromised. You don't know why, when you might need to descend. I kind of just like to plan, not overly avoiding airspace, because I'm not nervous about airspace, right? We are not nervous about getting a Bravo clearance. We're not nervous about being on with SoCal and getting flight following in or above Class Charlie. No, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm radio fail, I'm planning for the radio fail. And if I need to bring the airplane down and I'm not talking to anybody, that's a problem for Class Charlie. If you're right there, Prado Dam it's a pilotage spot that's right on the edge of the Ontario Class Charlie. So I don't know. I just like to split it. Plus, we're not going that far up anyways. Like, I would rather split it and just go to like maybe overhead march, maybe. And I don't know. There's no wrong way to do it. Like if you wanted to, go to Prado, that's totally fine. All right. And let me know what you guys think. Like if you think Prado would be better, All right. From that, we're going to go overhead march. And the logic here, I would say, is because why didn't we just go, if we're if you thought it was advantageous to split John Wayne Charlie and Ontario Charlie, but you're going direct over March, actually we're not going direct to March. We are, because that would be 55. So I think what we'll do is we'll climb up to 75. We'll go 7,500 feet. Yeah, we'll go 7,500. And really, it depends on the weather, too, you know? So let's just say 7,500. And then if it's 7,500, then I say we do go Prado. I say we make it really, like, really neat. Let's go Prado. That's what's cool about a program like this. You could just draft and change things, and it's all good. Prado is actually a good spot too. First of all, it's very prominent, and secondly, it's right by Camarillo. I mean, so is Santa Ana Canyon Pass, and really, if you're at 7,500 feet, like a lot of things in LA, you're around a lot of things. So there's Prado Dam, and yeah, so you're Prado to Riverside, and I'm curious about that distance between Prado Dam and Riverside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two fingers and I'm going to put them both on the chart, and I can take the measuring kind of tape out, and I'm going to go between, there's Prado, there's March, and it seems like that's 19 miles. Oops. 19 miles on an 8080 magnetic. Doing 140 knots. It's going to take 8 minutes to do that. That's pretty cool. I'm going to show you here in a second. We can absolutely like develop a nav log. Like we could actually go to like the flight plan spot here up at the top, go to the nav log, and it'll show you like what those distances are. So between VPLPD right there, and March, we said it was let's see here. Oh, this is like a running total. Heading. Yeah, we need to be able to edit the nav log, actually. Oh, there we go. 19. Yeah, right there. This right here. Yeah, 19 miles. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, it says 19 miles right there, and there's the leg right there, 19 miles. It's going to take 1.7 gallons, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. That's pretty sweet, man. That's pretty sweet, but we're not going to trust this. We're going to still do it by paper, and we're still going to use an E6B calculator, and let's see here. And yeah, we're still going to put the work in. Okay, so that's the nav page right there. Riverside, and here's the thing is we don't want, we're going to go back and actually amend this, because right now we're just doing big picture, flight planning and stuff. You don't want, spots on a VFR chart, on a VFR core, on a course, spots being more than, 15 miles apart from each other. 19, 20 miles, that's kind of far, So what I'm going to do is go from March to, let's see here, to D-Way, or maybe just Banning. Let's see. Banning Airport. Go to the airport. And from Banning, from Banning, that'll work. From overhead Banning to Palm Springs, that looks like that'll work. Okay. We have the VOR and stuff. Let's get a... what's that distance there? Flight plan from Riverside to Banning is 21 miles. Yeah, so let's go in between. Oh, yeah, dude, you gotta do a beam Banning pass. Right there. That point right there is a beam, the Banning pass, and that, between Riverside and that GPS point, is 13 miles. That's pretty good. And then from that point to, yeah, Banning. It's like 7 miles. Yeah. I mean, it's all right. You're beam the Banning pass. And then with this, I'm thinking a beam Riverside or a beam Lake Matthews right here. There you go, a beam Lake Matthews. And between Seal Beach and Prado Dam, I'm gonna say a beam State College. There you go. It's a pretty solid, let's do... Yeah, that's fine. That last leg is fine. So that is how you kind of using a chart to select waypoints, chart a course, and with the flight plan mode here, there's your route right there. And you can like manipulate, things, move certain things around. You can delete things from the plan. Pretty nice. And that's great. That's great. If you're IFR, there's something here to help you with minimum en route altitudes, and you can see here these are IFR over to the far right, IFR, so that's something else, but that's really nice. Really, really convenient. Now, if you have this route charted like this, you can what's called pack for the trip. And I want to say that packing for the trip allows you to like get this weather information and all that stuff. So that's pretty nice. I'm not too familiar with packing, actually, if I'm being honest. But what I do like is this simulator situation here. So there's your airplane, and there's your top of climb. And of course, we didn't like spend an appreciable amount of time as we totally would. We're just not doing VFR Navlog night tonight. But, you would spend time calculating your top of climb. If you want to go to 7,500 feet, you're going to calculate your top of climb and how long it's going to take you and where you're going to end up, and have a checkpoint over that top of climb point and that kind of thing. And then, build that into how we design a route. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're just kind of going through like, putting something together like on ForeFlight and like what are some of the capabilities. This is really, really awesome. This would be like from the cockpit view versus like, chase, and different types of charts here, or different types of overlays. Where's the icing? pretty awesome. Actually, really quick before I do that, I wanted to show you the profile view. This is really sick, dude. This is really awesome. Oh, you know what? We need to do navlog, or no, I'm sorry, edit. We need to do this in, yeah, we need to pick our altitude here. We're not IFR. We're going to do VFR. We're going to say 7,005, and then everything's happy. What was I going to say? Profile. So yeah, there's 7,500 right there. And we got the highest point here, 5216 feet MSL, 3,000 feet. Let's see here, less than 3,000 foot clearance. Pretty sweet, because what you have here are different types of airspace and terrain. So let's look at not where the clouds are at, but, and you can kind of expand this. Here is, you know, you can select like what type of airspace you're interested in. So if you know like 7,500 is, you know, by this spot right here, then you can figure that, you know, you're, you know, you're going to need a Bravo clearance, or you do two different, you know, in your particular nav log, if you want to avoid class Bravo on purpose, similarly to how we were initially avoiding the Charlie, just in case they're not able to accommodate a Bravo clearance, then you would have, you know, a step. You would have two top of climbs where you would step, level off under the Bravo, after Seal Beach VOR, continue to climb, you know, and figure out your top of climb exactly the same way, and make sure that you have checkpoints for your climb to 5,000 feet, and so on and so on. So you can actually look at this Class Bravo stuff. Pretty nice. And like where it actually is. So that is pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. The fact that you're like, okay, here is from this segment, this magenta segment right here, from Torrance to Queen Mary, we're going to be above Long Beach's airspace. How high up does it go? Surface to 26, and there it is right there. That's pretty sweet. How about top of climb is over a VOR? You're in 5,000 to 10,000 foot air Bravo, and then 6,000 to 10,000. 7,000 right there, 6,000, depending on what actual segment you're in, right? That's a 7,000 foot Bravo. So you can actually like click on these types of airspace and see like, oh, okay, cool. Like what type of airspace am I around? That's pretty nice. The Tersa. So that's a really cool function. Cool. So that's the profile view. Going back to the edit. So yeah, this simulator view, we can you know, adjust the speed. And really what I like about this is you can chart your path. Like the reason why you would want to use this is you would know at what points, if you have an engine failure, where are you going to put it? You know what I mean? You've got a golf course right there at that point. You can mark that on your VFR log and say like, okay, cool. We got a freeway right there. We got a golf course. That's nice. We got these different layers, by the way, of like where the clouds are at, or like where the icing is. Speed this up here. Pretty nice to be like actually in the airplane and see like what's gonna be around me. You know, visualization is so important for this process. and it's just a really really cool tool. From a pilotage standpoint. What is going on, Captain Seppi? Thank you so much for the raid. Party of 16. Welcome everybody. Factual goal. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Let me slow this down a little bit. Thank you guys so much for joining me this evening, and it's a pleasure to have you along. CDL, what's going on, kind sir? Joey, I just wanted to say hello, hello. Let me pause this actually. And yeah, it's Wednesday, I suppose. It's Hump Day. I hope the week has been treating you guys well, and that you're doing well, and that you're going into the second half with that you're going into the second half strong. Yeah, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name's Philip, and I'm a certified flight instructor here on Twitch. And I'm an amputee pilot. I'm one of the few amputee pilots actually out there, and very few amputee instructors. Actually don't know of any, but my whole arm is gone. You can read more about my story on my About Me page. It was a spinal cord injury, and I actually started my flight training after the spinal cord injury, and so it's a real pleasure to be an instructor. I know what it's like to really struggle in school, and Captain Seppi with the sub. Thank you so much. I know what it's like to struggle through school and not feel good enough, and so having my normal uphill battles plus the unique ones make really really good important empathy for students. So I thought I'd bring my ground school and my flight training passion to Twitch, and so here I am. And actually tonight, so I'm streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays this month. IFR Tuesdays, and then Private Pilot Wednesdays and Thursdays. Today is a ground school for flight orientation and GTN 750 workshop in a little bit. Oh my god, CD, thank you so much for the sub. Fantastic factual hype train. Yeah, I love the little lizard guy. So thank you so much, Crom, for the follow. Thank you. And yeah, so it's gonna be a really good the GTN 750. We'll take a look at that, and tomorrow will be G1000 cross country procedures. Yesterday was actually automation management and incorporating autopilot. We were using the 172 G1000. Incorporating autopilot into IFR procedures and disciplined use of the autopilot, do's and don'ts. We actually looked at Asiana Airlines crash in San Francisco. That was an automation mismanagement accident where the company culture was to try and correct a problem using the autopilot rather than disengage and hand fly the airplane. So this week is really TAA is what this week is all about. Technologically advanced aircraft between autopilot, GPS, and G1000 and stuff. But next week will be instrument approaches, VOR for the VOR use for the private pilot. So if you want improvement on your VOR work and your VOR navigation, positional awareness, situational awareness, orientation, tune in next Wednesday for VOR practice, and then we're going to put it all together. Flying Skills Thursdays next Thursday, lost procedures and diversion. So with that, let's get back to the foreflight. What we're doing is we're actually looking at different capabilities of foreflight, how to use them, and we looked at Joey. Thank you so much. We're looking at putting together a flight plan in this particular function of foreflight. So, and we're just going through very high level, private pilot level, different types of things of foreflight. How to, what I would do is rewatch this video from the beginning and philosophically how to use the right way to use something like foreflight, even if you're not a student pilot. Even if you're just like flight sim, I love flight sim just like you. We all love flight sim, So I still recommend disciplined use of foreflight and integration of foreflight into the flight sim that you're doing. So, in other words, without further ado, we're continuing our flight to Palm Springs. This is the flight plan that we are doing. We started here in Torrance. We put this together to the Queen Mary and Seal Beach, splitting a couple of Class Charlie airspaces, climbing to 7,500 feet, and then coming around to Palm Springs. There's our flight plan right there, the flight plan tab up at the top, and we were on that tab right there for the flight sim. So going to 10 times right there. Let's get back to where we were. And I was saying that what's really, really cool about this function right here is we're able to actually, visualization is so important, and envisioning like what we're trying to do, especially with flight, but really in life in general. We need to envision the things that we're trying to do and trying to be successful at. And that's what's one of the many things that's so cool about flight sim, is it allows us to envision what we do and allow us to do something before we actually go do it. If you are a flight training, if you are an actual student pilot and you're going to go do a cross country, you can go bang out that cross country like 5 times if you want, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And that's just a really beautiful thing. Joey, sub, thank you so much. I love it. Thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it, because it's a lot of information that I've accumulated with experience and money of my own over time. And I just love teaching and bringing aviation education to people, helping them feel more capable. And so I really appreciate the support keeping the channel going. So thank you. Factual, love it. So yeah, it's stuff like this that allows us to kind of look down and plan for these forced landing. Where are these forced landing opportunities going to be? Obviously that's an airport. So if we're gonna do anything over here, we're definitely over Seal Beach VOR. Yeah, we're definitely gonna, put it there on Los Alamitos. Captain Seppi, as a real-life pilot with 40 years of flying experience. Respect, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for teaching the next generation utilizing this format. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement. I am a green CFI, like I'm a 900-hour total time pilot. I've got 500 hours of dual given in airplanes. Love flight instruction, and it's people like you and that feedback that help me do that job better. Teach things like flight planning, resource management, crew resource management, single pilot resource management, staying ahead of the process, and not forgetting old ways either. Like one of the things I talked about in the beginning of this lecture here is a modest use of these advanced tools. We do not want to be saying, "Oh, thank God for this," because I wouldn't know where I was at in LA without this. No, that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about what I talk about in the beginning of this video are the 3 methods of navigation that you want to perfect before you start incorporating next generation stuff. You want to be good at your pilotage and looking at paper charts and pre-folding your charts. You want to be good at, let me slow this down here. You want to be good at utilizing VOR navigation to know where you are, where you're going, utilizing it for loss procedures. You want to be good at dead reckoning and understanding on the fly time, distance, and fuel calculations. But then you step into a G1000, or you want to treat yourself. Parks and Rec. You want to treat yourself to something super bells and whistlesy. This is the way to go, man. This is the way to. I mean, you can't beat this visualization over here. There we go. Overhead. Treat yourself. Can't beat that, dude. Fine leather goods. Treat yourself. Fine leather goods. I forget the other ones that they were saying though. But Donna and Tom together, dynamic duo, dude. Um, yeah. So it's something like this where you could see like, this Lake Matthews that's coming up right here to our 2 o'clock. Um, right there. How prominent is that lake? Sometimes like a lake is charted, but nah, like sometimes they're dry or sometimes like they're not that visible. So something like this, you're able to say, no, 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 like I'm at this point coming up, this Latin longitude point, that 33.89 north, 117.44 west. You see that custom point coming up. We put that point on our flight path to be a beam Lake Matthews. And there we are at Beam Lake Matthews. Yeah, we will see that off of our right wingtip. That's good to know. You know? Very, very good. Very good. 7,500 feet works, by the way. I mean, we're gliding all kinds of places if we have a problem out here, for sure. So, you guys definitely get the point. We can move on, but where we just was right there. And we can definitely see Lake Matthews. That's great. Getting your pilot's license is getting a lesson to learn. I believe that wholeheartedly. I couldn't agree with you more. Hype train. I still learn stuff every day. Very humble. I love that leader, captain mentality, actually. Learning stuff every day. And like Joey Bolo said, love the energy. Thank you. Yep, I've been flying. Been flying the DC-6 across the Pacific using only DR and Celestial navigation. No, only Dead Reckoning and Celestial navigation. Good for you. I'm down to hang out here on a regular basis. I love it. You are certainly welcome, sir. You are certainly welcome, and the rest of you are welcome, of course, as well. Really cool. Something I wanted to do is start in every once in a while incorporate like a DCS. Like I want to relearn the F-18. And I have an IR tracker. We can definitely do that. All kinds of cool, like interesting things. We will talk about things like weather and regulations. I've got to tune in on Wednesday the 13th for a very special like aerodynamics, like wing design PowerPoint that is about the aerodynamics of Star Wars ships. Obviously, ships in space do not have aerodynamic, they're not based on aerodynamic principles, but not all Star Wars ships hang out in space all the time. They're down in the atmospheres of Naboo, of Tatooine, of these different of Endor, Hoth, like these places that have atmospheres. So looking at hypothetically like wing design, delta wing design, drag, the drag coefficients. We have Revenge of the Lift on Wednesday the 13th. So it should be really good. And like on the 19th, we've got IFR Jeppesen versus FAA. It should be good. Okay, so we got this flight plan thing going. What else we got? We got some synthetic vision going on. That's pretty nice. Now, we are not actually flying, so the synthetic vision is not going right now. But what you would see is this would be, you would see the terrain. You would see, let's see here. Yeah, you would see this attitude information changing, the active leg. That's really nice feature of this, tier of foreflight. And yeah, we got some like data right here. This data is really good. This is this button, this like kind of speedometer button up at the top to help you like stay on top of things. And that's really good. What else we have? So that's the flight. This is the maps page. All of this stuff that we've been talking about is the maps page. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. Putting together a flight plan, amending it, establishing an aircraft profile. We talked about that. determining altitudes based on different things like terrain and airspace, looking at these different overlays. We looked at the aeronautical in particular as super useful for things like identifying airports or airspace. Really, really nice. And that's a good time. And then we come to the plates page. Plates, this is actually going to be really, really useful to you, especially as you branch out and you want to do more cross-country flying, like in your area. You want to venture out into new areas. You're going to have airports that you really like to go to, and that you maybe cross countries that you really like. In this place, you can organize what are called binders. You're going to add flight binder, and you're going to, let's see here, add an empty binder. Oh, you know what? This is like kind of tripping because we have a flight already planned. So let's go into maps and get rid of this flight plan. We're going to clear it and clear all. Go into the plates, and then, yeah, you can add a flight binder. Let's see here. Actually, hold on one sec. Let me... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You want to add another binder. So let's say that I wanted to, we were going to that Palm Springs, and I don't think I have, actually. I don't think I have a binder for Palm Springs. What you're looking at are a bunch of folders that I've created, or binders, they call them. And I've labeled them according to the airport identifier, and I've filled them with things like airport diagrams. These are my Jeppesen, though, so it might look a little bit different if you're using FAA. And this is a private pilot thing, but if you were an instrument pilot, you would load approaches that you already know based on the aircraft that you're flying, like approaches that you're capable of doing. Certainly ones like after reviewing your standard weather briefing and you reviewing the NOTAMs, that the all knowing what nav aids are working, what instrument approaches are in use, changes to minimums, if that's suitable for you after reviewing an approach and based on limitations to that approach, like equipment limitations, for example. The ILS, actually that one doesn't have any restrictions. If you look at the ILS Zulu, it's a little more restricted into Van Nuys. So, but either way, what we can do is go and add a binder for Palm Springs, KPSP, save that, and then we're just going to go add stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to add and search for KPSP, and that's going to bring up a whole host of things that we are free to add to this binder. For example, the airport diagram. Or maybe we are doing an approach in there, and we want to do the RNAV or the VOR Bravo, GPS Bravo, and we want to check that out. All right, so we can now we have this PSP binder right here for Palm Springs, very nice. And then we say, actually, you know what? Like, we're not going to go today. Weather's really bad, so we're going to go edit up at the top there. Edit that little delete sign right there. Boom, delete. Really, really intuitive and easy to organize your stuff. We've got weather here that we can kind of take a look at. Weather's pretty convenient here, en route weather, but I would just go to wxbrief.com and get a full-blown standard weather briefing. This is something I'm admittedly not that familiar with ForeFlight, is the get like packing a flight and getting a standard weather briefing. I mean, obviously you can do that. There it is right there. So let me see if I can actually do this with you. So I'm going to go flight plan just really quick. I'm going to go KTOA and then KPSP. And we don't have to do the whole thing. I just want to pack and do that and then see if that comes up as a flight. Yeah, because I admit I am not as experienced with this. Like ideally, we come here, we've packed it, right? And then we go to the flights, and we can add. Proceed to file. Yeah. Departure. I would love for that to. Destination KPSP. And then briefing. Let's see. Unable. Please complete these fields: performance profile and aircraft. Okay, cool. We do actually have that. So that's going to be our 756 Foxtrot Zulu. That's the 182 turbo. And we're going to be selecting an alternate. We would have one in mind for sure. And flight rules, we're actually going to go VFR. And cruise altitude at 8. We're going to go 7,005. That's pretty cool. Look, check that out. They actually give you the headwind and stuff, so you can kind of plan accordingly. How much gas is that going to take? You know, that's pretty sweet. All right, and then let's see here. Minimum fuel required. Let's do. Oh yeah, fuel in addition to the minimum fuel required amount at user's discretion. That's kind of cool. Extra fuel, so you can kind of integrate your own like personal minimum here into this extra fuel stuff. You know, popular personal minimum. Personal minimum is obviously really important to have, whether you're flying in real life or in the sim. You know, the thing about the sim, we really should be flying the way that we would in real life. So take it seriously. You know, have good radio comms, but also plan legit. You know, plan legitimately. Zero fuel weight, FBO, fuel order, fuel at shutdown. Okay, cool, man. So proceed to file. I'm good on actually filing. We don't need to file that, but let's see what this briefing comes back with. This is pretty sick if they give us like a standard briefing. Normally I do go to, I love wxbrief.com. And here is a really nice standard briefing, dude. TFRs. Airmets. Like over here, what I did was, oops, damn it. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. What I did was I went to these 3 lines right here and just opened up this briefing summary. And this looks pretty sick, dude. This looks pretty awesome to me. Adverse conditions, you can just kind of open that up. You can see here, adverse conditions, synopsis, current weather, forecast, NOTAMs. Nothing you don't need, everything you need and nothing you don't, dude. TFRs, you know, you can open that bad boy up right there and read about the Dodger Stadium TFR right there, or the Disneyland TFR right there, and all of the different, all the raw text right there. Good luck reading that and staying awake. Closed or unsafe NOTAMs. Let's see here. For Palm Springs, huh? Runway 31 left closed. Interesting. That's pretty sweet. So that's really nice. You know, you've got your NOTAMs and stuff right there. So I actually do like that format of that briefing. Going back to the 3 lines here. Airmets. Turbulence high. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Like, I think it's really convenient. I think it's great. Let's see here how their synopsis. Surface analysis looks okay. It's actually a really nice surface analysis. I like that combination. It's a composite where it's like surface, satellite with the clouds, and then radar. That's really nice. So that's really cool. And then the forecast. Let's see how their TAFs are actually structured here. So TAFs are in green. Yeah, 0405 Zulu. So that's for the period. Um yeah. Okay, cool. I do like this. I wonder if there's a way to read it decoded. Plain text right there. Oh, that's cool. Check that out. So at the click of a button, you can kind of go plain text, which is also really important for you to be able to read that, but also like decode it and just kind of cut to the chase here. Um, Zulu time. The one thing I do like about wxbrief.com is they give you like local times all over the place, and they also tell you like based on your performance and your true airspeed that you provide, at what time will you likely be in certain spots, and they like highlight for you like what, hey, watch out for this and that and stuff. It's kind of badass. Let's look at that departure NOTAMs. We got some obstructions here out of Long Beach. Do we have any FDC NOTAMs for changes to maybe departure procedures? Pretty nice. Okay, cool, man. So I like literally just learned that right now. We got the nav log right there. Holy moly. How about that, folks? How about that? Estimated time en route, 44 minutes, 92 miles. Wow, how cool. We've got a top of climb right there, top of descent. Yeah, you can't beat this workload management, you know what I mean? But here's the thing, dude, is like you've got to sit down with the paper, chart it out, fill out a nav log, make the calculations yourself. It's one thing to spend 10 minutes like throwing something together on ForeFlight, having it generate the nav log for you, filing it, get the weather, be like, oh, it's all VFR, boom, let's go. No NOTAMs. It's like, does that sound careful? Does that sound cautious? Does that sound respectful, like, of the process, right? No, dude. No, it does not. So it's like, that's great. All this stuff is super dope. The fact that they've got, that at winds aloft, at top of climb, right here, winds aloft, top of climb, 3,000 feet. We've got standard at 9 Celsius. We've got, looks like plus 10. I'm assuming that means it's 10 degrees above standard, I'm assuming. Component, it's 190 at, no. I'm going to have to like learn how to read this specifically, because I'm used to looking at, like the regular like winds and temps aloft. Like this is kind of, oh, you know what? I bet that is the temperature. Wait, what? No, that can't be. 10 Celsius? No. It's been really, really warm up there, but so I wonder if this means pretty consistently 11 degrees above standard, which would be really, really useful. Like, you'll find in performance charts, like for every 10 degrees above standard, add, this and that, add 10% to this and that or whatever in section 5 of the POH. So that's actually really good to know. Oh, there's my email for everybody to see. Awesome. And sweet, dude. Anyway, I really like this. Oh my goodness, look at that. There's your departure on the left and your destination on the right. Airport, actually, that's not really an airport diagram. That's more of a safe taxi thing. But you do have some FBOs there. That's pretty awesome. Or not FBOs, but like, yeah, I guess FBOs, like some businesses there. Signature, so that's really cool. You're going to be coming down on like 3-1 left. And taxiing over to Signature or Atlantic. So I really like it, man. I really like it. I'll be honest with you. As convenient. Zach, what up, dude? Everybody in the chat, Zach is a newly minted private pilot, everybody. This guy is flying out of an airport that very routinely is 7,000 foot density altitude, 8,000 foot density altitude, maybe higher. Um, just passes private pilot. Congratulations, Zach. We're going to have a post check ride Zoom call, I want to say on Saturday, but to be determined. So congratulations again, Zach. We're having a flight night, and everybody should definitely shoot Zach an at and congratulations. All right, so that's pretty cool. So that's flights. That all started with flights, the flights tab down here, and we put that Palm Springs flight together and just filled out those extra parameters to pull that standard weather briefing. And it looked like we could actually proceed to file. That's pretty sweet. The last thing I'll say here is scratch pads. Scratch pads is pretty sweet. And really what you're going to do here is come here to new, and you have all these different things. Now, when I have my tablet out in front of me, I can't remember anything, dude. Like, so many times the ATC will tell me a heading at an altitude. I'll repeat it back, and I'm like, shit, what did I just say? So, I like to write everything down. If they clear me, descend and maintain 3,000, contact 127.2, boom, right there. And then I'll draw a line. That was the last thing that they had me do. Descend and maintain 2,005, contact 2,500, contact 125.35. Squawka 0220. And actually, you know what I'll do is I'll break out a craft, like depending on what type of operation I'm actually doing. If I'm on an IFR clearance, there's your craft right there, your clearance limit, your route, altitude, your frequency, and your transponder code, right? So you are cleared to the Chino Airport on departure fly run, on departure fly runway heading to 800 feet, then a left turn heading 200, radar vectors, Seal Beach, direct, Victor 8, Paradise, climb and maintain 3,000, expect 10 minutes after, expect 5,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 125.35, squawk 0220. Boom. Really, really nice way to organize all your information. Again, what are we talking about? We're talking about single pilot resource management and staying on top of the process. Really nice to know that that's a tool in your toolbox. You got the ATIS right here. Information Oscar, wind 220 at 9er. Visibility 10. Scattered 2,500. Temperature 24. Dew point 18. Altimeter 2996. Runway 24. Boom, right there. So that's really nice. And holding, yeah, there you go. That's a nice holding clearance for your instrument pilots. Hold southwest, or excuse me, it doesn't really matter. Hold southwest of Wilma on the Seal Beach 251 radial, right turns. Maintain 4,000 EFC, 1105. No one writes a 5 like that, but that's fine. It's all good. We support each other. Edit. We can delete these things. Very nice. All right. Guys, so ForeFlight, it's a fantastic tool. As I said, please watch this video from the beginning when I have it posted. I can't emphasize this enough. Avoiding over-reliance on modern tools. We had a discussion last night, a ground school in sim about automation and autopilot. And a big theme about autopilot is how to not use it, right? Is how to not become over-reliant on it and lose those hand-flying skills, lose those that situational awareness, and how honestly something that was really good, the idea was really good, could actually add to your workload if you are negligent. If you're not monitoring that system properly and you're assuming that it's taking care of all these things for you, then before you realize it, assuming that you can't see outside, yesterday was IFR Tuesdays, you can't see outside, it may be really, really too late for you before you realize where you're at. And you've just been burning way more fuel than you thought, or GPS can go out or whatever it is. Systems start shorting out and stuff. And so is it a very reliable system? Yes. Is there redundancy built into it? Yes. Is it the way of the future? Yes. Do they provide tons of tools for you to stay ahead of the process and actually make it easier and knowing way more than you ever normally would? Yes. Right? So what's the problem? Well, the problem is if without that you can't do those things, that is a problem, right? Oh, I guess that's a good point. As he argues with himself. So yeah, like automation, like GPS, the flight bag. Thank you for the follows, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Like GPS and like autopilot, an electronic flight bag like ForeFlight can be epic. It can be epic, but it can be your Achilles heel as well. So take good things from this ground session. I hope that you are encouraged to either get ForeFlight and I'm not paid by ForeFlight. I just really believe in the product. And we can see here it's pretty relatively intuitive, I would say. A lot of other capabilities when it comes to instrument flying in particular, but again, we're staying private pilot. We're not going crazy on IFR stuff like last month where a lot of people are like, what the hell are you talking about? So yeah, I do encourage you to get familiar with it. And even if it's not ForeFlight, like if you have like a Samsung tablet or something, I was a Garmin pilot guy for a long time. They're all really great. It's just they're set up a little bit differently. You just would need to... They're the same functions for the most part. If they're competitive these days, they're all, pretty similar. But ForeFlight, in my opinion, is the tops. Between like the really like... I think private or a Garmin pilot has synthetic vision too. But dude, that synthetic vision is super dope. Like when you're actually flying in the sim, which we'll do tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. for that G1000 and GPS cross country. I'm happy, depending on who's in here, by the way, tangent. I'm happy to put the flight plan together for wherever you guys are at. If there's, you don't have to do cross countries where I'm at. I'd love to cross country wherever you are and be completely out of my element and show you the power of these systems to really get familiar with what's around us. It's going to be VFR. It's a private pilot day. It's Flying Skills Thursday. The Kraken Assassin. Whoa, super cool name. The Kraken Assassin. Dude, I have I like to wear these silly shirts. That's what's the name of my Twitch streams will be like. Flying Skills or Ground School Wednesday with a Certified Flight Instructor wearing a whatever shirt. Today's Legend of Zelda. Periodic table of the characters of Legend of Zelda. And I like wearing these cat t-shirts. And one of the cat shirts I have is my girlfriend got for me is the Crack Kitten, which is a little kitten coming out of the water. And he's like owning a ship, that's totally being torn apart to pieces that instead of that kitten it should be like the Kraken. So yeah, that it's a silly, it's a cool name, but Kraken, as cool as that is, does not make me think of Pirates of the Caribbean. It makes me think of Crack Kitten. Okay guys, so let's have a brief GTN 750 orientation before we call it a night. I do have to go and we'll, do sim tomorrow night. But the cool thing about the Garmin, the GTN 7, ever had a Kraken rum? No, dude. But you know what? I'll tell you right now. that I'm not really a big like drinker or anything like that. But dude, if I am gonna have a like liquor like a hard drink, it's going to be spiced rum and root beer, dude. Holy maracas! All right, you guys, my girlfriend just came here, and I'm gonna let her in, and I'm gonna be right back. This is actually perfect timing, and what I'm gonna do is Bacardi and any fruit juice is my go-to. Dude, you gotta go with the girl drinks, dude. Honestly, listen, whiskey's good. I know, guys, you know, and whatever. Um, but honestly, my go-to, dude, girl drinks, bro. All right, sweet. All right, you guys, I'm gonna be right back. I would play some light like Pandora right now, but like YouTube like absolutely shits itself when I try and upload these with like a little bit of music playing in the faint background. It's like no. So yeah, be right back. In the meantime, you guys can chill with Tangles in the back there. That's my stuffed octopus right there. This is the best day ever. You guys, this is the best day ever other than for the reason that I met you guys. Dude. So my girlfriend shows up and she's got great taste in fruit snacks. Stuffed octopus. Octopus actually you know, with sushi and with some soy sauce, dude, it's actually not that bad, but so anyway, point is yeah, dude. Yeah, one of my sections. Yeah, Zach. Okay, so she shows up and she's like, she goes, so I have a surprise for you, and she hands me a couple of these. You can't really see it. She's got these dinosaur and shark fruit snacks for her two super cute kids, and god damn if these fruit snacks are super good. They're not like oh dude, they say hello, Miss Girlfriend with fruit snacks. That sounds like they want some. Did you bring some for everybody?
I mean, I brought you quite a few.
I like how she's putting it on me. She said that she brought me a few. It's up to me how I divvy them. So now I'm the bad guy by not sharing them. Thank you.
I love you.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Fruit snack slap, baby. So yeah, dude, these fruit snacks, they're not like, listen, I'm not knocking Dots. Like, I know there's probably some people in here that are like, Dots for life, bro. Classic candy. If you don't like it, you can get out. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that nobody can say that Dots do not irritatingly get lodged into your teeth. You cannot say that they don't do that. You can't say that they don't do that. Can you say that you don't care? Absolutely. Right? Can you say that doesn't make them a bad candy? You could say that, and then that'd be a debatable thing. But the fact is that they do get stuck in there. These, on the other hand, do not. These have a firmness to them, a fruity flavor, but also a firmness. And they have that perfect fruit snack texture, dude. And like I said, sharks and dinosaurs, that's what's up, dude. So she hands me a couple of these packs, and I'm like so excited that she brought me a couple of her kids' fruit snacks. And then she goes, you know what the best part is? And I'm going to go, what? She hands me 2 more, dude. All right. Love it. Nothing beats Black Forest juiced filled snacks.
Those ones from Costco?
Wait. Rich of Peak. She said, you know what that is?
I do.
She said is that from Costco? Nothing beats Black Forest juice filled snacks? That sounds bomb. That sounds like a gusher. Is that the same?
No.
Are you saying
Similar, maybe?
similar? Are those not Gushers? I get mine at Walmart. I'm sure they have them at Costco though. Yeah, he said.
Okay.
Are they Gushers or like what are they? I'm kind of intrigued. I like Gushers. Wait, you're not into Gushers.
I don't like
You hate Gushers, and I've never understood that. I accept you. Actually, I love you.
I love you too.
You were gonna say I know. That's pretty funny. You go, I know. Why? That's so weird. But you did choose different. That's cool.
You're cute.
Babe, I think you're cute. It's more of a gusher. He says that it is more of a gusher and fruit snack hybrid. That's interesting because I would think that the gushers are a fruit snack, but I guess they're not. They're more of a candy. So it seems to me that maybe it's like less filling and more gummy, rather than gushers are pretty significantly filling. They're almost 50-50, if not 60-40, I would argue, filler, right? Maybe even more than that. 30-70?
It's a lot of gush.
It's a lot of gush, she says. Oh, yeah, I'd totally try those. Power on. All right, cool. Dude, I miss fruit by the foot. Zach said fruit by the foot. How do you feel about that?
We love those.
Dude, fruit by the foot is the shit. You're gonna ask a controversial question. Okay, so Joey wants to cause conflict. And I like that. I like that about you, Joey. Joey is asking a regular question that should not be controversial. He asks, first of all, Zach, fruit by the foot. I also miss fruit by the foot. Dude, that's a dangerous fruit snack because I want to just shove it all like in my mouth. Like, I don't want to be none of this wasting time. Ooh, let me unroll it. Let me take like 3-inch. Oh, wow, I can't. Oh, let me get some more. It's like, you know the way that you want to eat that, dude. Dude, one thing that I miss is, I don't know, dude. I got down with fruit roll-ups.
We still get them.
I got down with fruit roll-ups, dude. Little cutout things in there.
Oh, wait. Fruit roll-ups? I'm thinking fruit by the foot. Is that different?
Fruit by the foot is significantly different from fruit roll-ups. Fruit roll-ups, though, like, I think fruit by the foot is better. But, fruit roll-ups, I don't know. I was down with those. But Joey says, I'm going to ask a controversial question, which I totally dig that style. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I'm going to come out and I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, first of all, can't we all get along? That's what I'm going to say. And the other thing is, I'm going to say yes with the condition that it is accompanied by jalapenos. I'm going to say yes. Do I think it belongs on pizza without jalapenos? Yeah, sure. Dude, I think it's all correct. You know? But listen, pineapple on pizza with jalapenos on it, dude, that you cannot argue. You can't argue against that, dude. So, I'm just saying. Give it a go. Fruit roll-ups were always inferior to fruit, but okay. Zach is taking a hard stance. What? Continuum with the rate of 88. Oh my god. Dude, Continuum with the rate of 88. Good day. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Dude, you guys came in at a really, really cool time. First of all, hello. And it is fantastic to see you guys and Continuum. What is going on? It's been a little while, buddy. Yeah, it's just fabulous, dude. I can't believe it. 9:30 at night. Actually, it's a lot later for other people are in different places, you know. So I really appreciate you like tuning in and raid 100 viewers. Let's go, Zach. Oh man, Flying Basil. Thank you for the follow. Everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, first of all, thank you for rating me, Continuum, and for those of you that are sticking around, and you know, I know it's a late night. Thank you for sticking around. My name's Philip, and just to introduce myself, I'm a certified flight instructor down here in Los Angeles, and one of the few on Twitch, and trying to bring something new to Twitch, trying to bring that aviation education into the Twitch streaming space and provide unique, like, legit ground school sim sessions, giving kind of a new breath of life, like, to the simulator stuff that we love to do. And oh, Peter Mooney's in here. Awesome. We all love flight simulation. Some of us are student pilots, some of us are certificated pilots that and we're looking for recurrent training and a fun way to get back into our knowledge and to access that knowledge, and a fun way to approach recurrent training. Some of us are not student pilots at all, and we just really love flight sim, and we love maybe we're airplane enthusiasts, maybe like we love going to air shows, and we just love flight, and maybe we've always wanted to be a pilot but we never have, and so we're just kind of in that flight sim mode, and that's where I was when I was a kid. So no matter where you're coming from, this channel is for you, and this aviation education is for you. Give you a better idea of why you're doing the things that you're doing in sim, taking a break from airline flying and automation and just autopilot stuff, and really getting into GA and what cool tools are out there. And that's what we're talking about this week is TAA. It's about Dragon. What's going on, dude? I'm doing well. Good to see you. This week, and tune in if you would. I'd love to have you, and feel free to subscribe and support the channel. It's been a lot of time and effort and money to get to this point, to bring you this education. Just here on Twitch. We've got IFR Tuesdays that we're going for. And what we'll be covering were things like instrument approaches and regulations, looking at JEPISON versus FAA. We're looking at IFR clearances this month, subject to change. Like, if you guys want to see something different, if you are an IFR pilot or you're learning new procedures and you want to really focus on a certain type of procedure, departure procedures or something that we've done in the past, let me know, and it's definitely subject to change. I do my schedule on Sundays usually, and we kind of see what the week looks like. So IFR Tuesdays. Then we've got private pilot Wednesdays and Thursdays. Ground school Wednesdays. Thank you for the follows, you guys. You guys are awesome. We've got ground school and sim Wednesdays, and then flying skills Thursdays is something new that I wanted to do, where we just focus on sim, looking at flying skills, whether that be cross-country flying, or we look at private pilot maneuvers, we look at radio communications, we look at pilotage skills, and that type of thing. So today we're talking, we just finished, for those of you just joining us, thank you so much for the follows, you guys are awesome. They missed the fruit snacks discussion. You guys came in right at a crucial point. We were actually transitioning out of a flight orientation, so feel free to go back and watch this video for pretty in-depth flight orientation with regard to the private pilot. We didn't really dig in to the instrument pilot stuff. I just wanted to focus on the private pilot a lot this month. That was some of the feedback that I got. We're transitioning to the Garmin GTN 750 orientation. But before we get into we're talking about fruit snacks. We're having a nostalgic talk about fruit snacks. My girlfriend brought over these super bomb sharks and dinosaurs assorted like fruit snacks right here. I don't know. She's got two beautiful kids that I love. Do they know that I steal their fruit snacks?
Oh no.
They definitely don't, and I thought that they didn't because they love me as well. So I'm led to believe that they do not know that I'm stealing their fruit snacks. And I just met a bunch of new friends tonight, so I'd really appreciate. Don't tell them, please. Fruity sharks. Do. But they're a bomb. So we were talking about Gushers. These fruit snacks made us talk about Gushers versus, what was the other one that was said? What was it?
Fruit roll-ups or
No, 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 no. The Black Forest juice-filled snacks.
Yes.
Rich of Peak talking about Black Forest juice-filled snacks versus Gushers.
Who's got us another raider?
Dude, Foxtrot with the party rating with a party of 3. You are awesome. Thank you so much for the raid. And Gushers, do Gushers still exist?
Yes.
Gushers do exist. And says my girlfriend, I do believe her. And what's that?
You can look it up.
Absolutely. I believe you should. I have a moderator at this point looking up if Gushers still exist. If so, I know what never to get you for a present.
Yeah.
There you go. So we have a nay for Gushers. What's the view? Are we we're yeah, Rich of Peak is in here talking about the Black Forest juice-filled snacks. Are we a no on Gushers, or are we kind of like I actually liked them. So, I mean, I don't know, like, but either way, dude, if I had to choose these fruit snacks or Gushers, absolutely would choose these. What we were saying was these are perfect. These are actual perfect fruit snacks. They don't like kind of melt. They don't like they're not like soft and like get stuck in your teeth. Like they're like firm and like they're like good fun to chew on, dude. They taste amazing, dude.
Here, I'm sending you a picture in WhatsApp. I don't think you can share it in the stream, but
You're not gonna send it in the chat?
can you?
Yeah, you could totally send it chat, or or I can. Gushers, dude. Gushers at Walmart. I actually liked Gushers personally. Got to set up chat polls for this kind of situation, dude. I don't even know. See, that's the thing. I'm totally new to Twitch as well. So any suggestions that you have, let me know. I didn't even know that was a thing. So we got to do a chat poll, dude. And okay, guys. So let's oh, and then somebody said pineapple on pizza, and I'm gonna say yes for pineapple on pizza. One thing I don't want to do is cause a huge feud to break out for some reason. This is like a major point of contention. What I said was yes, that pineapple belongs on pizza as long as it's accompanied by jalapenos, which I recommend for everybody in here. So that's for me personally. Now, while you guys are weighing in on the Gushers situation and the pineapple on pizza, let's actually turn our attention over to the second part of tonight's orientation with the Garmin GTN 750, which is actually this panel over here on the right. And and then the glass panel right here is it kind of, I believe this is it resembles a G3X, I guess. It's basically a nice, Garmin glass panel, a touch panel, that this GPS data will be like sent to, and we're going to be expanding on some of the things that we talked about last night with regard to automation, different modes that we're going to put this airplane in as we put together a flight plan and look at this GPS. We'll maybe divert and amend a flight plan, load some procedures maybe, and that kind of thing. The GPS really shines if we're flying IFR, but VFR is still really good too. So, Zach, you said Foxtrot, yes to pineapple here as well. Fantastic. And you know what? We can all get along. It's all good. So it's one of those water wet debates that doesn't matter but gets everyone tilted. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's crazy. So, gotta run, my dude. Have a great rest of your stream. Night, everyone. Good night, Joey. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will definitely see you next time. And thank you for the positive energy, for the sub, and you're fantastic, man. We'll see you then. Okay, you guys. So this over here is the 750. This panel right here. And we've got some orientation. So what are we actually looking at right here? We're looking at the nav up here in the top right. we've got nav frequencies. So we've got VORs that we can use and tune into. We can do that by clicking on this bottom frequency in the standby and actually using our in the 750 and the 650 as well. It's a touch screen. It's kind of crazy. So like we've got like 111.9 for the ILS into Torrents, and you can either enter that or enter and transfer into active, boom, like that, and that's how you can. There's your ILS into Torrents right there. 115.7 is Seal Beach. So yeah, these are like VOR frequencies. These are COM frequencies. So you want to be on top of knowing what your next SoCal or what your next approach controller or center controller frequency is. Putting you can be on with approach control here and then having a tower frequency in here ready to go, but not transfer, just enter, ready on standby. That's really nice. This is your COM 1. That would be your nav 1, most likely. And then you would have some other unit or, some smaller GPS unit maybe that, would be COM 2 and nav 2 or something like that. Or maybe this unit is above like a regular like King kind of like nav-com setup, and that nav 1, COM 1 is, or I'm sorry, COM 2, nav 2 is like a regular, type of like navcom setup and stuff. So whatever your setup is, this is essentially a COM 1 nav 1. Was just trying to get that out in the X Cube and was not sure how to do it. Perfect timing. In the X Cub, you were trying to get that out. You're talking about what, the 750? Little different in the X Cub, same but different. Yeah, it should be really good. So that's the 750. This is our panel. And then this is actually how we're going to be manipulating. We're going to get this airplane flying, actually, and look at how this is used in tuning a VOR. Oh, dude, Phlox, you know what? You're going to want to tune in next week for sure. Next Wednesday, VOR. I'm going to have a PowerPoint on VOR. And I love teaching. First of all, as a CFI, I'm a CFII, and teaching the instrument rating is my favorite thing, because it's like the hardest. And VOR stuff, everybody struggles with it. So we've got VOR PowerPoint and workshop next Wednesday on the 6th, followed by loss procedures, diversion procedures using VORs on Thursday. So feel free to tune in. But nonetheless, we can absolutely tune in to the VOR. There's your VOR right there. And there's that. Now here's the thing. We were going from Torrance to Palm Springs. So let's start in Torrance. Oh, we are starting in Torrance. That's nice. Let's go back. Let's get that off so that's not annoying everybody. And then we are going to the, we got the map right here. That's pretty nice. We can zoom out. That's pretty cool. We can like declutter it and everything. That's pretty sweet. You can see us starting there at Torrance. Nice little layout of the airport. CDI actually helps us switch modes there on the HSI as well. CDI actually will be in multiple places. It's kind of nice that it's out here on the map part. What I like to use a lot is the where is it? Oh, maybe because I don't have. Oh, you know what? They have their this data right here is all in one place. So the nav data, I guess, on the 650 is on a separate page, but it's all right here actually. So CDI changes the source on the HSI right there. That's really good. Okay. Palm Springs, my old stomping grounds. I worked in the wind turbine industry for 23 years. No way, Phlox. Was a wind turbine tech in Palm Springs for 10 of those years. Dude, let's do it, dude. Okay, so flight plan. We went from Torrance. What did we do? These are all my lessons here to show you guys. We did, you know what? You know what? I should have used foreflight instead, dude, because we just used foreflight. But that's okay. Splasher, thank you so much for the follow. Let's do this layer, and we will do, we'll turn that off, and then we'll come out here. And we're going to go KTOA KPSP. And we're just going to really quick put together what we just did. We said Torrance to Queensgate. Oh, excuse me. No, not Queensgate. I think we said Queen Mary, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Or did we say Queensgate? I forget. I think we did actually say Queensgate. Let's go here. We went to Seal Beach. And then from Seal Beach, Splasher Evening. We went from Seal Beach to Prado Dam. Top of climb was 7,500 feet. But the location of top of climb, we're not going to get into that. Like, tonight is not about performance. It's not about POH. It's not about VFR navlog. It's not about Dead Reckoning. It's about, GPS. So it's all good. We're going to say Prado Dam, overhead march. From March, we went to Banning, I believe. Right? Is that what we did? Oh, you know what would be even cooler? Would be just to do this. Do Prado Dam to Banning, and then a beam, and then we do that over March right there. That way we don't have to change. Lake Paris is what I had an ultralight discovery flight. Amazing, dude. Phlox, was the ultralight? That's one of those like trikes, right? It's like a tricycle, and you're like very open air, and you're like wearing a helmet and shit like that, or like, is that what you were kind of getting into? Wow, dude. I don't know if I have the bravery for that. What made you do that? Flying launch air. You know what? When you put it that way, I'm in, bro. I'm in. Cup holder, dude. Got a nice lemonade right there. Speaking of cup holder. Dude, 2 cup holders. The thing is, there's 2 cup holders is excessive for a guy with one arm. Oh, did I mention I'm an amputee to these people?
Not to the new group.
Oh yeah. So to the newcomers, I wanted to say that one of the unique things that I bring to Twitch is I'm an amputee pilot. So I'm a unique. There's a pilot. There's a pilot group out there of like amputees. They're very small, but not the pilots. The size of the group. Imagine amputees, but they're like super tiny. Yeah. Anyways, but no, they're regular sized people, like of various heights. Like people are normal height and stuff. Not anyway. Point is that the group size is small, and yeah, they're amputees, but not very many amputee pilots out there have their arm amputated. My full arm is gone, but I'm the only instructor out there actually with the full arm amputated. So that's one of the unique things I like about flight instruction, bringing that to my students and teaching them how to fly. Trim is super important, So yeah, that's something cool that you can read more about in my About Me page. And that's our flight right there. So we've got Queen Mary. Let's do Queen Mary. Queen Mary, Seal Beach. Okay, cool. Now we'd be looking at oh, dude, one for you and one for me. That sounds great, dude. Actually, I do like that. That sounds like a super solid plan. So let's do it. VPLQM. VPLQM. That's our first point. After Torrance, we're going to go VPLQM. And there it is right there. Waypoint right there. From Queen Mary, we're going to go Seal Beach. SLI. Now check this out. I'm going to put Seal Beach in there, and we're going to be on that airway, right? We're going to be on the airway to where? VPLPD, actually, to Prado Dam. Oh, you know what? I wonder, is that Prado as well? Like the name of the... Because that would be super cool. Where is the low? Right there. No, that is not Prado. Prado is right there. Dang, bummer. Because I'm thinking I'm gonna I would love to put the airway in there and load these intersections, but I don't think I can because I'm not going to terminate anywhere. Maybe I can, actually. Let's try Seal Beach. We're going to load the airway, and that's going to be Victor 8. No. No. Oh, man. Hold on. Dang it. Cancel. Load the airway. We need Victor 8. Okay, let's try Victor 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to end at Poxku, I believe. Poxku is this one right here. And then we'll go from Poxku to the VFR checkpoint right there, VPLPD. So let's go ahead and do that. Poxku. So crazy how they come up with these names. LMNOP. Am I the only one when I have to put something in alphabetical order or like do like am I the only one that has to when I have to do that I actually really really quickly sing the alphabet because I unless they're like really easy letters, I find myself actually singing the alphabet so I know. Dude, I have to. Zach, if you... Oh, Dragon knows what's up. If you've got some time later tonight or another stream, I've got a question about specific Bravo, how to plan into that I totally didn't understand. You know what? I'm going to plan this route. We're going to fly it, and I'm going to look at some of the GPS characteristics like of the 750 and kind of intro to the 750. And then how about tomorrow 9 p.m. You bring that question... you bring that question up. I'm totally there, bud. You know that I am, I do that when putting in a flight plan in a 750. Yeah, you do that exact same thing. Okay, so Poxku, we're going to terminate at Poxku, load the airway. Boom, Victor 8 at Poxku. And then what do we have? VP, what was it? VPLPD for Prado Dam. VPLPD. There we go. Sounds good, man. From VPLPD, where are we going? We're going to Banning, KBNG. Now, something very important is happening right here because we can't... At least I'm not familiar enough with this to know how to put in a custom point, which I'm sure you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go VPL to Banning, KBNG, and just call it a day. Even though it's almost 40 miles, what I'm going to do is not use this GPS as a primary mode of navigating. Even though it's an IFR certified GPS and you can use it as a primary means of navigation, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is as a private pilot, I am going to, which I am obviously not, but I'm just saying if I were a private pilot, if I'm a new pilot, I am going to make a VFR navlog and I'm going to write out all of these things. I'm going to write out, a beam going from Prado Dam to a beam march and from a beam march to, that's right. We had a point right here, actually. We had a Prado Dam to a beam Lake Matthews. We looked in the sim portion of flight or for flight to make sure that the lake was visible. That was a fantastic ability to do in for flight. Overhead march, but it's not exactly overhead march. We're gonna know that on our VFR nav log. And I'm gonna say a beam banning pass. This is another great VFR check or pilotage point because it is off to our left wingtip. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna fly this tomorrow in the G1000. That is really what we should be doing. And I know I'm going to finish this in the GTN 750, but I'm totally going to save this and we're going to do this tomorrow. And then we can actually pull out ForeFlight, look at that synthetic vision. Dude, it's going to be dope. It's going to be super sick. Banning is where those concrete dinosaurs are, right off of the I-10. Oh my god, it is killing me to not eat these freaking dinosaurs, dude, with you saying dinosaurs. In the GNX, you can Bluetooth it to your iPad, iPhone, and download your ForeFlight flight plan right into the system. Isn't that crazy? You absolutely can. You can take your ForeFlight and send it to your GPS unit. It's so wild. It's so crazy. So then we got banning, and then we got banning PSP after that. KPSP. Sweet. We got that. And then what we're going to do, so that whole flight plan is in there, and we're going to go to the maps, and we're just going to make sure that it all makes sense. There's QM. Let's actually go north up. Actually, let's see. Menu. How do we do map setup? Yeah, and let's go north up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave track up for the GPS. I do prefer north up, but whatever. It's all good. So there's Aheim, VP, there's Ollie. Poxku should be there, actually. Where's Poxku? No? Oh, there's Poxku. Ollie, north up live, dude. VPLP Prado Dam. One of the really cool features of ForeFlight that we saw was the profile view, where you could actually look at all this airspace and see where are you going to be in any airspace, where the icing is. That's also really cool. Looks really good, man. Looks really good. There's our plan right there. And we're going to be departing runway 29er right. Let's actually go back to the flight plan. So procedures, charts. So yeah, so we have the map here, and that is, you know, once we have our flight plan routed like we just did, we can see that here on the map. We can zoom out. You know, we talked about the frequencies here, changing the CDI source here. But yeah, we got some like nice terrain. We got terrain that's in, you know, a certain number of miles around us, and it's all there. Weather, if you've got ADSB or some sort of subscription with something, it's nice to be able to get that weather going on. And charts. So this is you know, a really cool feature where you're, you know, obviously if you got your tablet right there, you have your charts at your fingertips already. And frankly, you should have paper charts regardless of ForeFlight or not or whatever. West Coast, water to the right, scrambles my brain. North up life, dude. Yeah, West Coast, water to the right. Yeah, North up life. You know what? Let's do it. I agree. North up life it is, dude. My bad, dude. I was what was I thinking, you guys? What was I thinking? North up life, dude. That looks way better. That actually looks way better, huh? There you go. All right. And it makes a lot of sense too. Like, you know, the charts are north up. Why not? Okay, so then we're gonna go to the charts, and we got all different kinds of things, you know. All of these things. Well, the hotspots are really important for, and they're shown on Jeppesen charts. But you know, like hotspots, what they are places on the airport surface that you can look up. Right, you're looking at Palm Springs, for example. The hotspots. Hotspot 1. Taxiway Charlie mistaken for runway 13 right or 31 left. or runway. You know, that there's a taxiway that's maybe wide. That's often mistaken for a runway. Oh my God, you're gonna Harrison Ford it and actually land literally on Charlie. That was actually the taxiway at John Wayne where Harrison Ford landed on a goddamn taxiway on accident. Almost took out a vertical stabilizer of an airliner 50 feet away from it or something. But hotspots are going to be places on the airport surface that you want to develop an awareness of and that you want to call out, you know, as you're taxiing. Maybe diagram them on your own if they're not readily like right there on your airport diagram. That the places where a runway incursion is like likely to happen, or at least some sort of traffic conflict is likely to happen. So you just want to familiarize yourself with that. That's pretty nice. So there's your hotspot. These are kind of IFR related things. Airport information, that's pretty cool. So that's pretty nice. And actually, when you are in the actual airplane, you're probably going to have a geolocated safe taxi ability where your airplane will show up on this diagram here. You got different types of approaches into Torrance. Really nice. Again, an IFR thing. I'm telling you, dude, these GPSs, when they say IFR certified, like, they have some dope stuff in here for IFR. But tonight's a private pilot day. We can do IFR. You know, will be instrument approaches next Tuesday. So tune in, you know. And that'll be really fun. All different types of approaches. Pretty sweet. Airport info. You got all this information about the runways that are available, what the lengths are. You got the Bravo airspace that's around you. You got 5,000 foot Bravo above you. So different types of frequencies, all kinds of things that are available to you on the airport, on the charts page. And we'll use the nearest function actually in flight. Okay, so with that, let's get going. And I'm going to set my heading for runway 29er right. And I'm not going to be taking off like totally perfectly because you can see we're at like the middle of the airport. It's actually 294 if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to be 7,500. I don't know. We could actually climb. We'll do like a modest climb there. We'll go speed. We'll do it at 130 knots. And we are in heading mode. There we go. There's our 294 right there. So we've programmed our flight. We're on with, we're doing our right downwind departure. Let's say it's a right traffic for this runway. So let's go ahead and turn 90 degrees to the right. Keep our climb. And we got a nice climb going like that. Let's actually take it all the way up to 3,500 feet. Contact, and that's when we would be on with 133075. And that's Torrance Tower. Let's actually, they wouldn't do that to us right now. They'd actually do it on the downwind. So let's go ahead and turn downwind. That's going to be a heading of 11. Keep that climb going to 4,000 or 5,500 for now. Actually, there's Bravo above us. You can see here on the 750, we've got this Bravo shelf that's above Torrance Airport at 5,000 feet. So we want to keep that below. So we're gonna go for let's go 4,005 for now. And they're gonna say Cessna 172 Sierra Bravo. Contact departure on 127.2. Have a great flight. 127.2. Have a great flight. We switch this in, touch the comm, and we say SoCal approach. Cessna 172 Sierra Papa is 2009 or 2008. climbing 4,005, climbing 5,005 actually. No, climbing 7,005. We are eastbound out of Torrance, requesting a Bravo clearance. And they say Cessna 172 Sierra Papa, altitude is climb is approved, altitude your discretion, cleared to enter class Bravo, maintain VFR. Maintain VFR, cleared to enter class Bravo, Cessna 172 Sierra Papa. We are not afraid of the Bravo clearance. We readily get the Bravo clearance. And we're over here with 5,000 foot Bravo ahead of us, or above us. Right here, this whole section, you can see here, 5,000 foot Bravo above us. We're going to continue that climb. Now, here's the thing is we're going to be using Seal Beach pretty soon. Oh, you know what? Let's go intercept our approach course, or I'm sorry, our course to Queen Mary. Right? So we're gonna fly that. And here's the thing: is I want to really utilize this GPS. You can see here that we are coming up to our course, so I want to switch that CDI. And I'm going to go into nav mode, which will tell the autopilot to fly an intercept heading to intercept the CDI source that I just switched it to. I switched it away from the VOR and used the GPS to get to where I want to go, that GPS course that we just programmed. We're 4,006, climbing 5,000 or 7,005. This is when we would incorporate a climb check into our, looking at our systems. We have a cockpit flow from whatever that might be for you, a left to right or whatever. And, I like to incorporate a 7 into my students' checklist flow. And we look at all the systems, we look at the instruments, make sure the heading indicator is set to the compass, that our radios are set, that the altimeter is good, and that the suction is good, the oil temperature, pressure are good, and everything looks good so far. Okay. Now, we want to stay ahead of this process, so hopefully no flows in the cockpit. Yeah, dude, there was a time I was doing my long commercial solo cross country and I had a pee so bad, dude. That flow was definitely going. My eyes were freaking yellow, bro, and I had to make an emergency descent essentially down into thermal for a quick pit stop, dude. Coming up to the Queen Mary, let's actually get the speed up a little bit more. Let's do like 150. All right. Now we're going to be Seal Beach direct. Okay. At this point, Queen Mary, we're going to Seal Beach, right? So here's the thing: is I want to make a selection. I want to select. I can't help but be a troll no matter where. Gosh. All right. So Seal Beach, we're 115.7. We can look on the chart for that. Right, looking at the VFR chart, we can see here Seal Beach 115.7 is right there. But also, we've got this really cool resource right here, right? Single Pilot Resource Management. Let's take a look at the nearest. Let's see what the nearest VORs are. We go back and we go to the nearest, and we go to the nearest VORs. We got Seal Beach right there, 5 miles away, frequency 115.7. Switch that in just like that. I know we had that already, but, we're able to put that in that way as well. It's really, really cool tool. And now that we have 115.7 in there, we can come back to the... oh, that's cool. Airspace, yeah. Oh, user-defined waypoint right there. There you go. Okay, cool. So there you go. There, now you know. We'll go to the map. And we'll go to the CDI. Actually, first of all, I want to go into heading mode. And then I want to go to CDI. And I want to set that. I want to sync the course. Oh, wait a sec. Hold up. Whoa. There we go. And I want to go OBS. Let's see here. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, cool. Course. So I'm going to select what? I'm going to select whatever course gets me direct to the VOR, and it looks like that is it right there. We're going to go nav mode, and it's going to track that that VOR. All right. Now, looking at our magnetic here, it looks like we're on a 0. You know, we'd be looking at our nav log, and it looks like we're on a 058 magnetic, and that makes sense. It's a 058 is the airway. So what I'm going to do is cross the VOR and set up for a 058. And I'm going to go ahead and go course 058 right there. And should actually intercept on its own. Let's see here. Heading mode will intercept that. And then I do want to select, let's see here. I wonder why it's not. I'm going to fly that heading bug to re-intercept the airway. And then nav. There we go. All right. Now, what I want to do is make sure that the... Oh, wait. Let's go to flight plan, Seal Beach. Let's activate the airway. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That makes way more sense. So let's do that. We've got the airway selected now between Seal Beach and Aheim. So the GPS had a little bit of a derp moment right there. And basically we're just monitoring this. We've got the flight plan that we loaded in. We just activated that leg. The autopilot is in VOR mode with the 058 radial selected. That is what the airway was on the chart. That 058 right there, if you look on a instrument chart right there, it's, you know, plain as day, 058 right there. And we're coming up to Aheim right there. So that's what's going on. We got a nice little intercept angle right there, 7,500 feet. And cool little like synthetic vision thing going on. I like that. I want to actually fly a heading mode really quick and then bring in that centered needle a little bit more. Let's bring that in a little bit more. Bring that in nice. We got 1.5 to Aheim. This is actually when I would be using a bearing pointer. Let's see here. I know how to set that up on the G1000, but not as much on here. Okay, cool. So coming up to Aheim. I wonder why this is so significantly off. It's a 058 course, for sure. So weird. You know, I think this is just like an imperfect, you know, simulator menu. Let's check it out. Charts, radar, traffic, map setup maybe. North up. Airspace, traffic. Nah, I don't see it here. That's a good guess. But all good, all good. You know, ultimately it's not a perfect thing. And menu for the display. Oh, got you. Let's do advisory. No. Oh, menu. That's where it is in the G3X. Let's do bearing pointers. Yeah, right there. So then let's do nav. Well, See, the thing is I want nav. I want a. Yeah, I don't think it would work because I want a nav 2 for a bearing pointer. That's really the right way to do it. We could go. We could be tracking GPS right now. Um, but yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. But you were right though. So normally what I would do is I would have a VOR2, like maybe Pomona or El Toro or some other cross radial VOR, and then you'd have your bearing pointer set up like that so to get these cross radials in. This is when we would have done our cruise check a long time ago. We go switch over to 134.9er, and we check in with SoCal at 7,500. And at this point, we're using Ollie is actually a changeover point. We're using Paradise VOR. It's going to be 112.2. Transfer that in. And looks good. Looks good. Now, really quick before we, and that's essentially it with the GTN 750 for at least for private pilot stuff. Loading a flight plan, loading an airway, looking at the TAC chart and the sectional chart for waypoints, and then let me actually switch my source here. Looking at the different charts for the waypoints so that you know what to plug in. And then the idea would be to amend it. Would be to amend the last thing would be to amend the flight plan. Like, let's say that we needed to divert, and we've got a sick passenger. So we go, oh my God, okay, we need to divert. Where's the nearest airport? And it looks like Corona is right near us at 7 miles. Chino is there. Chino is actually towered. Let's go there. All right. So Chino, it gives us some really, if we're thinking about diverting to Chino, this is a really nice page. Notice that nothing has changed about our flight plan. We're still en route. We're still about to turn right on course. But here we have Chino, 7.4 miles away. About 7 miles away. If we were to fly direct to Chino, we would fly a bearing of a 020 bearing, or a 018 now, a 017 to direct to go to Chino. That's really, really good to know. That's the direct route. We would need to make sure that we're aware of airspace though, and other things. But for the most part, that's really useful. Looking at the airport, let's weighing our options. We've got looks like 2 parallel runways and one long one that's going through the middle. What type of runways are we talking about here? We would actually look at the weather and say, okay, well, it looks like Chino's got a METAR variable at 5, so really any runway is ours, so that's all good. Let's look at those runways again. Let's go for one. What is that? 26 left. What are we talking about? We're talking about lighting on 26 left. It's 7,000 feet long. It's left traffic. I say we do it. So where is this bad boy right here? It's over here, I guess. It's probably Corona and Chino. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go set our heading bug so our nav doesn't trip us out. Heading mode. And then let's do it. We're gonna go click on Chino and direct to right there. And we're going to go direct to Chino. Activate. And there you have it. Now that flight plan is donezo. We are, well, actually, no, I guess this did save the flight plan. Yeah. But we are direct to Chino nonetheless right now. And we would go change that source to nav, or change the autopilot to nav to go capture that. And we just want to be aware of the airspace that we're around. Right now we're above Ontario's Charlie. What's that nearest airspace that's around us? That definitely isn't true. There's definitely airspace all around. So let's go to the map. Right, we've got airspace right below us. We've got a 2,700 foot shelf, or we've got a Charlie shelf that is below us at 5,000 feet, and then at from 27 to 5. And then we've got a Chino airspace that's up to 2,700 feet, up to but not including, obviously. And so what we would do is, now that we're direct to, we would run our checklists. We would say, okay, if we have an electrical failure, like we've got, a electrical load shed, let's squawk 7600. If we're about to lose our communication, let ATC know that we are, dead. We're on yeah, Dragon Waypoint, dude. That's awesome. I saw that. So yeah, we would be running our checklist, and remember, the way to run your checklist is your mental checklist items. We know that if it's an electrical problem, we're load shedding. We also we'll talk about diversions next Thursday, but we want to select our alternate airport and just get there. Obviously, don't violate any airspace. We're not. Right now, we're in Class Echo. We're above the Class Charlie. There is no Class Bravo around us. And we just need to be careful about coming down through the Charlie. But we would be on with SoCal Approach, and they would clear us through. We would need to make sure that they've coordinated with Chino, though, and declare an emergency, right, if it really is an emergency. And we would circle down and then, enter the pattern. We would do a spiral down into the pattern and we'd be good on with Chino. Going to Chino here. Charts. Oops. And frequencies, right? We'd gone on with that tower. Bam, tower. Switch that over. Chino Towers, or maybe we're talking to the SoCal. Oh, oops. This isn't gonna scroll, but so anyway, that's a little bit of the GTN 750. You can see it's really intuitive. We covered where the frequencies were. We covered some of these pages. A lot of it's IFR stuff that's just not relevant to us. We put together a flight plan. We amended a flight plan and diverted. No, it won't actually let me scroll. Yeah, it doesn't. It's so dumb. I wish it would, though. So, I wanted to say to everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's stream. Teaching is something really special to me, and I really, really love teaching. I love sharing knowledge that I worked really hard to get for myself. And I learned from a lot of mistakes. I learned from a lot of other people's mistakes. And I just love to share it. And if I can enrich your life and enrich your flight sim experience, if I can hopefully inspire you to get into aviation, even, get in touch with me if you want some tips on how to do that. I'm there for you. Mentoring is something that has been really important to me. And I, as my mentors have been able to help me, and I too like to reciprocate out and put that out into the universe, and mentor wherever I can as well. So reach out, let me know. In the meantime, that's it for tonight. Tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. for an all, you know, encompassing a G1000, a GPS, cross country procedures. We'll use ForeFlight. We'll use the automation that we talked about last night, and it's going to be really great. So I believe we'll do it in the 172 G1000, and it's going to be really great. So tune in, and I have no problem like totally putting up another, doing another flight plan to somebody else in the chats, like, you know, local airport, we'll do a cross country near you, and it's all the same to me. So absolutely, Dragon, my pleasure. Thank you, and thank everybody for an awesome night and for the great vibes, great conversations, and you guys are awesome. So I'll see you then. Zach, bring your question tomorrow, buddy. Okay, have a good night.